We're live. Get the hell out of here. Oh, I'm an idiot. Whatever. I can do this. You go like this. You go like this. That's looking at you.
He's looking at you, kid.
I'll bring it up. How bad that is. It's pretty bad. Okay. Okay. Beautiful. Now, before I start the show, let me send out the socials,
Melissa.
which I've already typed. On the ball today.
Ooh, I would eat that.
That sandwich that's in the Discord.
Yeah, that's a good sandwich. Good looking sandwich.
Okay. Socials are up.
It's no Brentwood.
Hey, careful.
No,
That's
this
a sore
one,
subject.
it's Irish, German, and Italian.
3, 2, 1. Go Nintendo Podcast. Webisode 1038. The Weedle Podcast.
Come on, babe. Take a walk on the wild side. I'm walking on sunshine. Whoa, walk this way. Talk this way.
Is this like the start of a radio show?
It's
Okay.
Big Walk Podcast, baby.
I got you.
Wow.
Walking in Memphis.
I can't think of
Anyways.
any other walks. Like an Egyptian?
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Walk like an
There we
Egyptian.
go.
I don't know if that's appropriate nowadays. But great song.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can't top that, so here we are.
Again, the Pokemon is Weedle.
Walkdle. Beware of the sharp stinger on Weedle's head. It hides in grass and bushes where it eats
wow.
leaves. Or it hides in grass and leaves where it eats bushes. You decide. A foot tall, 7 pounds, male and female. The category is, of course, hairy bug. Abilities include Shield Dust, where protective dust shields the Pokemon from additional effects of moves. And hate to have to walk away from it, but this is the end of the Pokemon section.
Thank you, Mom Brain. Mom Brain is here.
I am.
How are you doing, Mom Brain?
I am good. How about you?
That's great. I can't think of anything bad. I'm good. Thanks for asking.
Oh, I'm great now that we got little Percy.
Dude, Michaels is here. How are you doing?
Cool.
Nikki Hill is not here. We speak his name. Josh Grobot is here. How are you doing, my friend?
I am the world's best
So
singer.
I've heard. We don't need you to sing. Oh, okay. Never mind. Thank you. Josh, face that out, please. Thank you. You been up to anything interesting, Josh? Anything you want to share with us?
That's none of your business.
I had a feeling. Well, then moving on. George is here. George, how are you doing, my friend?
George, no.
What have you been up to? How was your week?
Oh, take a walk on the wild lime.
You've been playing Big Walk too, George?
Big time, yeah. Me and all my limes play.
Like your actual limes play the game with you.
Yeah, I'm not very far.
Well, George, we'll be happy to play with you at any point if you want. Just let us know. Hop on Lime with us and we'll play.
On Lime?
Yeah, that's right.
Count me in.
Let me say hello to Discord. Hello, Sneaker Hacks
Oh,
and Radical Defect with Percy and Retsusa,
look at that tiny dog.
who dropped a Weedle. Hello, Rosemary the Farmer. We have a question from you today. Hello, Giant Reggie and Gecko Kitsune and Malik Halo and Burn and Cheese. Retsusa dropped a delicious looking sandwich in the chat earlier. Also, hello. What the hell just happened? What is going on?
What the heck?
What the heck? Hello, Nico Darunia. And boy, it's really fighting me. Never mind. Thanks everybody who jumped in here. Hi, Rotzel. Good to see you. I appreciate it. God, that baby Hazel is crazy. That is this sharing your pets at the start of the podcast is great. Do I have anything of Piper to share? I'm sure I do.
I have a great one.
All right. Well, is that thunder again?
Yeah.
Mother lover. This rain is killing us. It was bad by you, right? It had to be. Yesterday,
yeah.
Yeah. It was insane here for like 45 minutes. The stream in the backyard was ridiculously high. The basement was gushing water like it usually does. The sump pump was going a mile a minute. It was not fun, but we survived.
There was this one thunder that lasted for like 45 seconds or something. It
Yeah,
was crazy.
I remember there being a huge burst. There she is. There's Piper on her new laptop.
On her
hanging
new
out.
laptop.
We bought her
Bobby Puss is so good.
That's
my
a
boy
great photo.
Bobby Puss. It is International Cat Day. That's correct, Ross. Thank you for reminding us of what important day it is today. So if you have cats, drop a cat picture. If you like cats, still drop a cat picture. But yes, happy International Cat Day to everyone.
Oh, Bobby Puss.
Bobby Puss is an amazing name.
That is really great.
Really good.
What?
Yeah, that's weird. Today, maybe maybe it's not a coincidence, but today is my old cat's birthday, Shadow.
Aw.
May she rest in peace.
We speak your name, Shadow.
Yeah, I guess we had to pick her birthday, so maybe if the cat day is the same every year, then maybe that's why we picked it. I don't remember. It's been a long time.
It was meant to be.
She looks she looked a lot like Percy, actually, so I love seeing those Percy pictures.
Yes, Rosemary the farmer says, so excited to hear about Big Walk. Freddie and I have our fingers on the trigger thinking about getting it. I would say pull that trigger. We will talk much about Big Walk later. Do Michaels has been 4 weeks, no joke, very angry that we have not been able to talk about it. So as soon as we get to the what we played section, I will be turning it over to Do first to let him talk the talk while he walks the walk.
Yeah, I was excited to talk about it 2 weeks ago, not anymore.
The beginning of today's show would say differently. So, but we got some other stuff to cover first. And this is one. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this. I think I may have, but what are you looking at? Everything okay? When I am doing my usual rounds during the week, there may be things that pop up that I want to talk about, and I send myself an email called Podcast Crap. And oh, look at that beautiful puppy. Hey, Tony, good to see you. And this week I sent myself one specific podcast crap, and I am calling out a website because I'm annoyed, and I am not the only one who is annoyed. There's been lots of talk about it, so I am calling them out. I am calling you out, IGN, because what the hell is going on with you? This is disgusting. So, IGN has been losing their mind with the articles that they post lately. And they are so blatantly clickbait, rage bait articles because that's what they want. But here's my big problem with it. I always hate clickbait and rage bait. I never want to see it. I have no interest in it. And it's always out there. Hello, Colossus. Good to see you. But IGN seems to have taken the stance of when something happens that is really, really good, like really great news in general, IGN is like, this is the perfect time to crap all over this thing. So there are examples of this happening recently. So the one that kicked it off that got a lot of people talking, I saw this discussed in many corners of the internet and on social media as well. Nintendo or IGN posted an article and a video as well called "Is Nintendo Losing Its Soul?"
Yikes.
Wow.
Here's what they said. From chasing a mature Zelda with realistic graphics to remaking Star Fox 64 again, is Nintendo losing its soul? From the quirky genre-defining innovation of the GameCube and the Wii to the modern era of Switch 2, we're asking whether the legendary company that consistently bucks modernity is finally chasing stale industry standards. What the hell is going on here? Nintendo is not doing anything different from what they always do. And also, Nintendo's not doing anything differently from the rest of the industry.
In
Yet,
fact,
now this piece of garbage article comes out.
isn't that some people's complaint that Nintendo doesn't sort of follow
Yes.
what, right? Like
They're
that's people's
damned if
main
they do,
complaint.
they're
Yeah.
damned if
That's
they
the other
don't,
thing.
basically.
This is insane to me because this article comes out while you ignore basically everything else that's going on. So, okay, they're like Zelda, realistic graphics. And it's like, okay, what about Splatoon Raiders, the first Splatoon spin-off game, single player focus? Or what about Yoshi and the Mysterious Book, a platformer built for exploration rather than platforming. Like, you have recent examples to show the complete opposite of what you're talking about. Tomodachi Life sequel that is doing huge numbers. Like, I know this is done to make me angry and rage bait me and make me click and complain. But I don't interact with any of this stuff. I come on the podcast and I talk about it because it's asinine. This is disgusting. I cannot believe that IGN, the biggest gaming outlet, literally the biggest, there is no one bigger than them, is like, this is how we're going to spend our time.
That's the part that I hate the most, is how big they are, and they still have to resort to tactics like that. I mean, come on, like, it's ugh.
Hey Drake, good to see you. And your comment leads into exactly what I'm going to say next, because yes, you're 100% right about that, because I wrote that down too. So what other big news do we have lately? Spider-Man blowing away expectations at the box office, becoming the biggest movie of the year by far. Fantastic review score average, like all around great stuff. IGN article. The MCU as we know it will suffer due to Spider-Man Brand New Day's box office success, and it may never be the same again. What are we doing? What? So they're like, oh, we got really, really good news. It's got a lot of people talking. Let's come up with an article that craps all over everything else and paints this whole thing in a negative light. This is so ridiculous. Why are they doing this stuff? Spider-Man's record-breaking box office clinches it. Marvel as we know it is over. What is happening? What's going on here? This is, I am not there. The veil is not in front of my eyes. The veil has been lifted decades ago. I recognize why IGN is doing this, to make people mad, to make them click the article, and to make them comment, because that gets some more and more and more attention. But like I said, I find it so reprehensible that they are now, like, as soon as a very positive, big, happy piece of news comes out, they're like, hit it with the negativity. We gotta go. And it's insane. And then if you read the article, there's little things in there that's like, that basically say, like, I don't really feel this way, but blah, 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 blah. But why do they do that? Because they know nobody's reading the article.
Do they yeah, right, exactly. Do they at least say this is an opinion piece or whatever?
It's at the top of it says, this is an IGN opinion piece from Alex Zalbin, who has been covering movies and TV for years with a focus on Marvel and DC. So he's one of those, I don't know. Okay, I don't know this guy's other work, so take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. But if you write an article like this with a headline like this, it seems to me like you are one of those type of people who is a fan of something, and you're a fan of something for very long, and then that switch flips where you're like, this thing that I love also is now the worst thing all the time, and they never do anything right. It's like when you go to a Marvel subreddit or a Nintendo subreddit or an anime subreddit or anything popular, Lord of the Rings subreddit,
Star Wars.
and Star Wars, great example. You go and you read it and you're like, this is filled with people who absolutely hate this thing we're talking about. Why are you here? And they're like, I'm the real fan because I see how it used to be. And it's like, no, you're just an idiot and you're jaded. But I'm not saying you can't dislike. I don't want to say hate. You can hate, but I just, hate's a strong word. Hate, love, all this stuff. But there's no nuance to having those discussions. And that's exactly what this article is too. It's asinine. And wait, there's more.
Yeah.
Because IGN doesn't stop there. Switch 2 sales. All right. So we have Nintendo financials to cover later in today's show. Spoiler alert, they were really good. IGN's article, Switch 2 sales down year on year after 2025's explosive launch.
Year on year? It's the second year.
It's the second year of the system. And we're talking about the launch of the system, Q1 versus Q1 in a new fiscal year. Yes, of course the sales are going to be down. That's ridiculous. Like,
didn't it just outsell the GameCube, like the GameCube's entire lifespan?
Loxbox is in the Discord. We speak your name, Loxbox.
We speak your name.
And
Maria,
Music Man, and Music Man and Maria. We speak both your names. Yes, that's the real articles, and truth is Switch 2 is still outpacing the Switch, which is the best selling or the fastest selling system of all time. So literally by the numbers, by the actual stats, could not be doing any better. There is nothing that has done better than it. But IGN's article is Switch 2 sales down year on year after 2025's explosive launch. Yes, because the system came out and sold an insane amount in its launch month. It did like 5 million in a launch month. So yes, it's not surprising to know that June 2026, it didn't sell as much as it did in June 2025. That's so garbage. Hey, Laxter, good to see you. Yes, this is where we are.
Remember when you used to put a cartridge in a gaming system and you'd play it and you had fun, and that was as far as it had to go, except maybe the schoolyard. But like now we have to have these long discussions about horrible stuff. Like, here's the thing: you want there to be bad news? Like, wouldn't you want your favorite hobby, video games, to do well so that you get more games and more, and your favorites keep making their games and whatnot? Like, it's crazy that people wouldn't hear the truth, the great sales, and be like, this is great. Like, we're gonna get, and maybe if Ocarina, this is for people who like remakes, but maybe if Ocarina of Time does well, like Star Fox did, maybe I'll get all my other favorite games too, and blah blah blah. Like, why is it like we want them to fail? And that's why I'm gonna click on the article and then read the comments where people are just fighting back and forth over nothing.
From an editorial perspective, the higher ups at IGN, I'm sure they just want that. They don't really care what's going on. They're just like, write articles that make people angry or are attention-getting headlines, and that's all they care about. But the people at IGN, I'm amazed that there aren't more people who are like, I'm going to push back on this, or I'm not going to write this. And then Spaced Out, they might lose a job. I get it. But I don't know it's difficult because anybody that works any job may not be passionate about it. But when you're talking about like something in the entertainment space, be it movies or video games or something, you would imagine if you're getting a job at IGN or any outlet that covers that stuff, then you have some sort of passion or interest in that thing. So you would also then imagine that at some point IGN's like, make this really crappy headline about this thing, and then there would be pushback being like, well, but like,
remember,
what are we doing?
You started with a job, and people need their jobs. So at some point,
hey, Matibus,
you have to decide, whether whether sticking to your convictions is going to make you homeless.
And it's not even yes, I understand that, and that's why I don't want to push too hard, because I'm sure
individual journalists,
there are people who are like, I really don't want to write this, but it's my job, and then that might build up over the years, and they're like, I'm out. So I understand that, but I would also imagine, because I don't know the situation, but I could imagine there are people within IGN who are like, yeah, I love writing this stuff. Of course I'm going to do it, because they don't like Nintendo, or they don't like Marvel, or they just like doing clickbait headlines or whatever. But I didn't even read this whole title. Their whole title is Switch 2 sales down year on year after 2025's explosive launch, though Nintendo insists adoption still compares favorably to original Switch. You are not telling the whole picture there, and as a matter of fact, you are obscuring the facts of what is actually happening. If you want to hear the actual facts about Nintendo, we will tell you them, and that includes when things are bad and when things are good, because we're not telling you for them based on opinion. We're telling you based on fact. Factually, if things are not going well, I will tell you that, and then I could tell you that personally makes me sad and I wish it wasn't like that, but I will factually tell you the truth first. Sorry.
Even when it's the hard truth, even when it's a hard truth, like Nintendo didn't actually make Love Hotels.
Right?
I mean, we reported that. We could have buried that one.
Did I like telling you that? No. Do I love the idea of Nintendo making Love Hotels? Yes, but factually, it does not seem like that's the case. So it's like when that quote that was around from Miyamoto forever, whatever he says, a bad game is forever, a good game, whatever. The quote I'm trying to get to. The fooler can't be fooled again. And then we found out that he didn't really say that or whatever. I shared that because as much as I love that quote, and it's great to have attributed to him, that didn't end up being the case. And we shared that when we all learned that. So yeah, it is what it is. And it just sucks that, like, I'm not saying when you go to an outlet named GoNintendo, maybe you shouldn't have some trepidation and be like, how biased is this site going to be? I don't know if they're really going to tell me the truth. That's fair. Just read my posts, and then I feel you will get a good idea. But when you go to something like IGN, the literal biggest gaming outlet on the internet, it's a shame that you have to be like, well, am I really getting the truth here, or is this the clickbait headline? And then, you know, in my opinion, they're a clickbait factory in most regards. I do read articles there. I read articles there every single day. Literally, not a day goes by where I don't read articles there. So I have seen posts and articles and stories that are factually cut and dry, but when they see an opportunity to jump on something and spin it with a negative light or in a negative way, boy, do they do it. And it seems like they're going into overdrive lately. You know, the Nintendo news bothers me, certainly, but I really think it's crazy to see the Spider-Man situation and automatically turn that into a negative. Like, that opinion piece was out the door almost instantly. Like, they were working on that beforehand, where somebody at IGN was like, Spider-Man's probably going to do really good. So when it hits, let's make sure within a day we have an opinion piece that shows why this is bad for the MCU when it's over. Like, and someone,
like
whoever I
when-
said, was like, yep, right on it. Got it.
It's like when the World Series makes a champion hat for both teams, just in case.
Yep. That's what it is. Yeah. So, except this time they
If there's no champions,
they're only going the negative side. Yeah. So, what IGN, do better. You're the biggest outlet in gaming. This is asinine. Like, really, come on. Like, this is embarrassing for you guys. Who the hell's over there making these calls? This is disgusting. And if you're someone that works at IGN and you'd like to push back on this, or you'd like to give me more insight into how things work, or perhaps tell me why I may be wrong about certain things, which I'm certainly open to, get in touch. Email me at kcassie@gonintendo.com or rollmecowboy@gmail.com. Doesn't matter. Let me know, because if you think I'm speaking out of my ass or I'm saying something factually incorrect, I want to be corrected so then I can correct myself publicly. But we'll see what happens. Seems to me like they just love a clickbait headline. So more now than ever. And, you know, the internet is not what it used to be. And it is harder and harder for them to get the traffic that they used to get and retain attention and find audiences. So they're like, we have to get more aggressive in our headlines, and negativity always breeds attention. So that is what we have to do. We have to drill down further until the cesspool of the internet that we have now is so disgusting that you can't even stick your pinky toe into it because it'll fall right off. What a bunch of garbage. Yes, Laxter says IGN only makes loser hats for both teams. That's what they do.
That's a better analogy.
That's great. So anyway, that's my piece on that. Now let's do Patreon. Music and sound. Mom Brain, did you know that you can join the GoNintendo Patreon
for $1?
For $1. Had some new people join this week. Thank you very much for your support. What did we talk about this week? Let me tell you. My first post was about a little peek behind the curtain. Mom Brain, you may remember last week before the podcast, I was like, I don't want to do the podcast today. I'm like tired and I'm just not feeling it. And like, I've just been out of shape and whatever. And then, of course, I'm not going to call off the podcast, but I got into the podcast, and, you know, like 15 minutes into it, I was like, yeah, this is feeling good. This is therapeutic. This is nice. And I get to see friends, and it was very good. So I wrote about that, how, like, you know, I was like, let me give you a peek behind the curtain. That sometimes I'm like, God, I don't really want to do this, but we're going to do it. And just wanted to share that to show how, like, valuable you guys are as an audience and supporters and readers of GoNintendo in general and social media, because, you know, yes, I write about video games, and I'm very lucky to do that, and I will never lose sight of that and very much appreciate that. But, you know, it is a job as well, so there are days where you're like, I just really don't have it in me to do that. Plus, it's the post-vacation slump where it's like, oh my God, back to the real world. Because, you know, when we went to North Carolina for decades, I was still working while I was there. So it was really no different other than a change of setting. Now, the last 2 years, I'm really on vacation and I don't work. So, like, coming back to the life of updating every day and doing the podcast every week and doing the Patreon posts and doing social media and all that, it's like, oh, I had a week where life didn't involve the internet, and it was amazing.
And now it's the longest time until more vacation.
Yeah, exactly. So it's tough to transition back to that workflow, but again, once I get like into the things and get back into the mindset, then
it's the opposite feeling that I'd have as a kid getting out of CCD after church. Like,
yes.
it was the greatest part of the week because it was like the longest
Mhm.
bit of time before more church.
Mhm. I remember also being very annoyed about that because I did not want to. I was like, gotta wake up early on a Sunday to go do any of this stuff. I don't want to be here. I don't want to do this.
I don't think there's a Simpsons joke that I identify with more than the one when they get home from church and like they're in the foyer and they're like kicking off their
Yes.
shoes and they're like taking off their uncomfortable church clothes. Like,
I was very
love
lucky
that.
in the sense that we went to church. Maybe I could count it on one hand. I feel like we didn't really do that. And for CCD, we didn't have to get dressed up. I don't remember. There was like one or two kids that got dressed up because I'm sure their parents made them. But I remember kids just wearing normal clothes, regular clothes. So I didn't have to put up with that hell of it because that would have made it much worse for me.
Yeah, well, it was, it was stuff like I wasn't wearing a little suit and tie, but I was wearing like turtlenecks or like a sweater, like that's restrictive, that kind of stuff. And you're
The
just
stuff
like,
God would want. So yeah, I just wrote about that because I wanted to show that, I know I am a very positive guy and I know I'm a very happy guy and I like being excited about things and that is genuine from me, but it's not always that case. And sometimes we all have our struggles and everything. So I thought I'd share a little bit of mine, but I did. And again, it's thanks to friends at the table, Mom Brain, obviously, and people that support the site that help me rejigger my mindset. So thank you. Also on Patreon, in another post, I talked about how we could finally talk about Big Walk, which we will do later in the show. But I asked you guys if you had any questions about Big Walk. We had some good conversation in there, but we will talk about that later. Plenty of Big Walk talk to come. Gecko Kitsune says, I remember seeing the podcast Patreon post and thank you one through the week. And I can't remember if I commented on it because I'm old and I get pulled away from what I'm doing often. So I'll just say it again. We appreciate you, the podcast crew, the news crew, and GoNintendo. Always. Thank you for everything y'all do. It's still one of my favorite websites and the one of the few I actually visit these days. Thank you very much, Gecko Kitsune. I appreciate that. Also, don't feel bad about forgetting or getting pulled away. It happens to me all the time. Also, yes, I recognize going to websites on the internet is not something a lot of people do anymore. Like that time has come and gone. It's YouTube, TikTok, social media in general. And maybe people have like one or two sites that they might go to. But by and large, people don't really visit websites like they used to.
I had to have this reminds me of an uncomfortable conversation I had to have this past week because a colleague and I are working on a project for launching the next school year, and she was like, oh, I asked ChatGPT and Claude and whatever. She was like, do you want me to send you what I have? And I was like, okay, this is going to be like a conversation I'm going to have regularly, I think, in these trying times where I was like...
Radical Defect says, no.
Well, I was like...
I didn't mean to do that.
Well, colleague, thank you, but I actually am really opposed to AI and... for a number of reasons that I'm happy to discuss if you want, but I would rather not use that. And we're friends and whatever. And she was like, oh, I respect that. Thanks for like letting me know. But I was like, I'm going to have to be doing this now forever, probably.
Know what I mean?
Like, it's just going to be a constant, uncomfortable conversation to have with people. One of my like superiors at work was like, oh, well, you should just... I'm working on a different project, writing curriculum, and he's like, we could just put that all into AI and it'll save you time. And I was like, I'm not doing that. Like, I'm not doing that. And if you're gonna ask me to do that, like, then this isn't work that I can do. Like, no. Yep. Yeah. And like how to do that respectfully, right? Like, I guess
just ask ChatGPT.
I mean, there's a couple of, right? Like, I don't drink, I don't eat meat. Right, like I don't have like a...
She's one of these hippies. She doesn't drink, eat meat, or use ChatGPT.
Like, so there,
AI hater.
I guess like I'm used to like having to, or just not saying anything because sometimes you don't need to. You can just but I don't know. It's very interesting direction we're headed in, and
Well-
like generally, so this is what made me think of it is like I generally, when people are like, oh really, why not, I'm like, well, at the end of the day, like
I like thinking for myself, and I like taking care of the environment.
but people are much more willing to like you
People
on
don't
that.
want to think. Yeah.
So what I generally say is like, well, it's actually like hurting my partner's livelihood. And that's generally,
so if it weren't for me, you would be using it?
no, I'm saying that's generally the argument that people are like, oh,
I got
right.
you.
Like if I'm like bad for the environment, they're like, well, this and that and the other, or like I want to think for myself. They're like, oh, you're just using it to like offload so you can do. But when I say it's hurting your livelihood, people generally
offload my ass. We've gone so long where we've done all of this stuff, and it's fine. We're not like I'm not generative AI is where I have a major issue. But like also talking to AI chatbots for whatever. It's all we've talked about AI so much. I don't use AI. There are certain kinds of AI where I'm personally okay if others use it, but to each their own. Just I don't want anything to do with it, and I'm not going to use it. Like when I'm writing an email to somebody, and like I go to do the response, and Google has already given me like 4 things it thinks I should say. It makes me so mad. Same with the iPhone, where like somebody texts me something, and it'll be like, "Sounds cool, thanks," or like, "Oh, I'll check that out" as a suggested. I'm like, I can manage talking to the people I care about. Like, is this insane? I can't even have a text conversation with someone where I genuinely write my thoughts. I'm going to hit a bubble that means nothing and send it to it, like fart it out to a family member. Like, this is crazy. I don't look at texting friends and family as a chore. I look at it as something I want to do. Like, it'd be like in our friend Discord to like, if we're asking if we're going to play a game and like Discord recommending me a gift to use and being like, yeah, good enough, and throw it in there. Like, no, I like engaging with the people I care about. This is
I also
insane.
like to tell other teachers, like, you do know that they would love nothing more than to replace us with AI, right? Like you're gonna like give up all your like value, and like, it's already happening. Like we're already using all kinds of crazy like ed tech platforms and stuff that are, it's a bad look. It's
We
a
got
real bad
AI
look.
agents breaking out of their environments and hacking other things, and yeah, we're screwed. And we have the big tech oligarchs being like, AI is here, it's the future. There's nothing you can do about it, and it's like,
Which
what do you
is a
mean?
lot
There's
of people's
nothing you can
argument.
do about it. Like you're the ones doing it. Like
right.
there's nothing we can do about it. You're forcing it. You mean there's nothing we can do about it because you're not going to stop that? Okay, fine. I don't like that, but I understand it. Sure, you're not going to listen to me, but it's not like the people running these companies are like, well, we can't do anything here. It's what do you want? It's happening, and it's like, no, you're making it happen. So, whatever.
Yeah, when we were playing the other night, you jumped off a mountain and went off to look for something alone, and one of our friends out of nowhere was just like, I'm sick and tired of these AI band flyers, like these gig flyers. He's like, that's all I see anymore. And it wasn't even Music Man who said it. And I was like, oh man. And like and I was thinking to myself, yeah, it sucks, and like we see it everywhere now, but like it's gonna get to a point where we're the weirdos for thinking that it's weird and not cool. And like no, but I mean like it's gonna be used so predominantly that like we're gonna be the quote idiots for not using it. Like I was like, if they're doing it for band flyers, like
it's not even going to be like that. There will be that group of people without a doubt, and you're 100% right. But there's also the group of people who don't even know. Like they just look at it and they don't think anything of it. It's just another flyer. It's just another ad. It's just another poster. Like they're not like
billboards all over locally that are AI.
When I am on Facebook for work, I will see things on my feed that are about like local events happening. And I'm going to say at least, and this is probably conservative, at least 8 out of 10 are flyers that were made with AI. Like I saw a local bakery, AI flyer. I saw the 4-H thing we were talking about, AI flyer. I saw a restaurant that was opening, AI flyer. That's it. They're just put it in and fart it out, and it's all got that sheen and look and style to it where it's like, and some people just will never see any of it, and some people will never care about any of it, and some people will be like, you're crazy for not doing it like this.
And I think it's going to be difficult for, I mean, might be talking about out of my ass here, but probably be difficult for kids growing up in this day and age because they're going to know nothing but that. So it's not going to be weird. They're not going to understand. And it's just going to be normal to them. And then before you know it, it's going to be like that movie Idiocracy.
School districts have AI policies. If they don't, they're working on them and adopting them. And most of our local districts, in an effort to say like, we're trying to get ahead of this, actually teach the kids how to use it. Right? Like, here's a really well written prompt, and here's how you would cite it, and here's like it's
how about here's how to think. Because we're not teaching anybody that. Noel Miller, which I'm sure some of you are very familiar with, he's a YouTuber, been around for a very long time. He
from Great British Baking Show.
Not that Noel. He had a video. He had a video that I'm still watching. I haven't had the time to watch it all the way, but he's teaching senior citizens how to spot AI.
Great way to go about it.
So it's a very interesting video so far. But he also did a video where he taught Gen Z how to use computers. So they were, they're like on their phones doing everything, and all of them, he was asking them about computers, and their opinions of computers were so low. And they were all like, basically, people who are using computers are being performative with their work. They're like, you're not like, you're pretending to do work, or you're making it look like you're working hard because you're sitting at a computer. They're like, you can do everything on your phone. And there's certainly things you can do on your phone, but there's plenty of stuff that would be a nightmare to do on your phone, and other stuff you just can't do on your phone. So he had them sit down at computers, and it was like, okay, it was like teams of Gen Z kids or youngsters. And he was like, okay, here's a computer. Your first task is literally just plug it in, like set it up. That's it. And, everything's color coded, purple to purple, yellow to yellow, all that stuff. It took them a very long time to do. And multiple groups broke all the cords because they aren't used to. They're used to like an iPhone or an Android where you just plug in the cord to the phone, and you can put it in either way and it works. So they were putting these things into the computer, and it wasn't working because you have to align the pins, and they weren't looking at the color coding. So they're getting it wrong right off the bat. But when it didn't fit, they weren't looking at anything. They would just push it harder and twist it to see if like that's it. So they all were snapping the pins on the cords. Jesus. And it was like, oh my God, this is terrible. And then he had other stuff that he did for fun. He had him like figure out how to do an Excel sheet, and it was a nightmare. He also, this one is whatever. I don't expect kids to know how to do this, and I don't think they should need to. But he was like, let's see how many of you can figure out how to burn a CD. And they were like, many of them were flabbergasted. And that was just for fun. But there are things that you watch in there where you're like, oh God, they're just... some of the
probably didn't even know what burn
terrible.
a CD meant. They probably took it literally.
There were certainly some who did not know what it meant.
Dude, do you remember going away to college and having to decide whether you wanted a desktop or a laptop?
I just got a desktop. I don't think there was ever a thing, but it was definitely like, you have to have this for school.
And you have to have an Ethernet cable. Like you have to have it.
Like if you're going to college now, you may not need a laptop or a desktop, but you'll need like a tablet with a keyboard. Like you can't do it all on just an iPhone or a tablet by itself. I mean, I guess you could get pretty far with a tablet on its own, but without a keyboard, like it's going to be pretty annoying at least. We're fine.
I remember
George, hold on, George.
Saying I'm going to get a desktop because someone might steal my laptop.
You got a Dell, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I got a dude. You're getting a Dell.
I remember that. I remember that you got a Dell. I remember that computer too because you played Final Fantasy VII and Vagrant Story on your PC through Bleem.
Yeah,
it's called Bleem.
Yeah,
it's like a software you could buy that let you play PS1 discs on your computer.
And my roommate didn't have a computer.
Oh my God, I forgot.
And she would use mine for like all kinds of stuff. And she would be on AIM. Like I would go to bed and she would be like, can I use your computer? I'd be like, sure. And I would just hear her like typing to her boyfriend and then like giggling, and I would be like, it's broken. You can't use my computer. It's broken. It was terrible. Absolutely
Freaking
terrible.
doors all night long.
Yep.
Well, anyway.
My Dell had the Millennium Edition, the Me Edition.
Oh.
Ooh.
Apparently that wasn't good.
Yeah, I was gonna say not a fan of that one. John Savage had that one as well, and I remember us having like very long conversations about how we really didn't like that version of Windows. And there we go, Ross. Perfect. So there's that. Whatever. That started off with how I don't know how we got from Big Walk to that, but we did. Moving on, we had R-Type, who has been on a few podcasts. He came over this week, and he brought his son, and he was bringing his son over because he's like, "Can we come over and play some games?" And I said, "Sure." Dew Michaels was also here and joined us. We had like a 3-hour session where
He
his
brought
son
Doritos.
brought Doritos.
It's a real day. A real
Not do.
dude's day.
Not do. R-Type did.
He should have brought his Switch 2 and you could have loaned him a game or something.
I don't even think they were thinking about that. But you know, he how old is this kid? 8, 9? I don't know, kids. 7?
I have no idea.
One of those. So it was like, you know, you're going over to the video game guy's house to play literally anything you want. So it was 3 hours of him playing here, and I wrote about that because it was like it was really fun to see someone else experience all this stuff, but like a kid. So like they weren't jaded and they weren't like, why do the graphics look like? They weren't thinking about any of that. It was just like, I want to play video games and this is fantastic. So they played so much Star Fox and Tomodachi Life and UFO 50 and Smash Brothers and Splatoon Raiders and just a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of fun just watching them play stuff and guiding them through some things and whatever. It was a good time.
Wii Sports, the Wii Sports that you
Oh,
had
yes.
you like had to dig through your collection to find this game that he wanted to play, and you come out and he's playing another game, and you come out and you're like, I found it, and he's like, good dog. It was like amazing.
And Dew and I both started his dad wasn't in the room when he said it, so I'm sure his dad would have yelled at him or said something to him, but when he said it and
it was
we both really laughed.
It was so bad, like what a bad kid, but it was so funny.
Yeah,
and like
it was very
I
funny.
couldn't help but laugh.
Oh,
at it.
yeah.
That's the perfect, like,
I laughed
kids
100%.
Kids need that. Kids need adults like that in their life. Like,
Yeah.
right, they have to understand boundaries and respect and all that. But like, when you're just with your dad's like fun friends, that's like a lovely.
Yes, I think to some degree he felt comfortable, and
yeah.
that's fine. Yeah, it was funny. It was 100% funny.
Yeah.
I wasn't mad in the least. It was just I wasn't expecting it. Hello, Blood Ocean. If I didn't say hi, so we had a really, really good time, and it's just cool seeing the joy like that through someone else's eyes, and like I love video games, obviously, but to some degree it fueled me in a way where I was like, I should like go back. Like I was like, I want to play more Switch sports now. Like I want to go in and play golf, and I want to go in and play bowling. I was like, I want to play more of this.
Well, what would be when you were 10 the equivalent of like going to someone's house and seeing like this? You know what I mean? Like what would have been the equivalent? Like
I remember going to my aunt's house before we had any video games, and her son had an Atari 2600 and had like Pitfall and Pac-Man and stuff, and I remember playing it there, and like that was an amazing experience. He didn't have like a ton of games, but that was something I didn't have.
Yeah.
So there was that. And then also a few years later, my uncle, different uncle, he was always into computer games. He didn't play consoles or anything, but he had computers and played a lot of games on them. And we went over to his house, and he was like, do you want to play something? I was like, yeah, what do you got? And he's like, I have Wolfenstein. And I had heard about Wolfenstein, but I didn't have anything to play it on.
Oh, baby.
So I played Wolfenstein there, and I will never forget it because it was the whole visit. Like beginning, as soon as I walked in the door to 4 hours later when we left, I was playing Wolfenstein the whole time. And it was incredible.
And you probably thought about it every day.
I did.
For like weeks.
I did. And then the next time I went over, I was like, I can't wait to play Wolfenstein. He's like, no, I got something else. And I played Doom for the first time. I was like, oh, forget Wolfenstein. This is incredible.
Wow.
So yeah, those are two very similar experiences. They were only one game each time, but that was like, I didn't play games on a computer. I didn't have a computer to play games on at that time. So it was like a whole new thing at the time. So that's what my equivalent was back then. And it was great. But, that was just like, here, go play. And nobody was watching. My parents knew what I was doing, but like, it
Right.
was like, here, play Doom. He closed the door and I was by myself for 4 hours and that was it. Cause at that age, I wasn't like, let me sit with the adults while they talk about family stuff. I didn't
Yeah.
care. I was like, this is so boring.
And
let me
he
do
knew
something.
it, right? Like he was
I'm
like,
sure he knew it.
Yeah.
Also, he's, we're obviously related. So part of him was like, I think this is cool and I want to show it to somebody. And obviously my brother doesn't care and his wife doesn't care,
Yeah.
but the kid's going to care. So I'll let him see it. He's the one that bought me Wing Commander for the Sega CD back in the day. Like, he would always buy me video games. He would never ask what video game I wanted, but he would get me something that he played and he liked and figured I would be interested in. So he got me Wing Commander on Sega CD. He got me Dune on Sega CD, which I remember being so confused by, but like fascinated by it too. So he knew the things that I had system-wise, and he would get me games that he played on the PC that were also available for what I had. So that was really cool of him. It's not so. That's a very unique situation to be like. Plenty of family members are like, Do plays video games or RMC plays video games, but they would never be so bold as to be like, here is a game I picked you out on my own because I know you're going to like it. It's just like, what does he want? We'll get it for him, or we're not going to engage with that at all. But to
Right.
have somebody be like, I know you like video games. Let me handpick a video game you might not even know exists, but I'm sure you're going to like it and get it. So I always really appreciated that. But so yeah, that was my equivalent. Did you have any equivalent like that when you were a kid?
I remember going to my brother's friend's house. I have an older brother, and we went to his buddy's house, and he had like on the wall, he had like shelves and shelves of just like what seemed like every G.I. Joe figure and
whoa.
like accessory with them and vehicles and
Man,
all
the
that stuff.
karate kicks I could do with these.
I mean, that like
Yeah.
that was like, I was like, this is incredible. I was like, I remember looking at all
This
like
is what being an adult is like.
yeah, like I couldn't believe it. I mean, and he was still a kid too,
Yeah.
but like he seemed so much older,
Oh,
like
yeah.
a bigger kid, and like he had everything. And I was not that, like, I didn't mistreat my stuff, but I wasn't very particular about my stuff. His stuff was like pristine, like all pristinely put and stuff, and I was like, it was almost like a museum.
Yeah,
I
he
was
collected it. He didn't play with
yeah,
it.
Yeah. So I remember thinking that was pretty amazing. And he had a bunch of NES games that we didn't have too. So I got to play, believe it or not, we never had the first Zelda. So I got to play Zelda over there, and I got to play Punch Out, Mike Tyson's
Was that
Punch
after
Out.
you played Zelda 2? So you were like, what is this game all about?
That's a great question. I think I played Zelda 1 first. I think I played it with my friend in town, and then because he had it, and then when we got our NES, I think that I got Zelda 2, and
And then you were like, what the hell is this about?
and I know I've told this story a lot, but like I remember thinking that I didn't like Zelda 2, but I couldn't stop going back and playing it, and I was like frustrated because it was hard.
Yeah.
And like, I didn't think I liked it, but I kept going. I mean, back then you went back and you played the games because that's all you had.
Yes.
But like, I feel like I kept going back because there was something there. And I mean,
You were like,
obviously was, because now it's like one
you
of my
were putting the
faves.
pieces together. Yeah. You at first you're confused and it's difficult and you're like, you can't figure out things, but then you turn it off, and then later you find yourself like thinking about it, and you're like, what's going on? How do I do this thing? And then you go back in and you get a little bit more, and you're like,
It
okay.
had me.
But again, I hate to be like, back in my day, but there is some degree of that with video games where, like you said, I know we just talked about this recently, but you had those games, whether you liked them or not, those are the games you had. And it was either not play video games
Right.
or play the game you didn't like.
Exactly.
And yes, you could go outside and play with friends, but there's plenty of days where friends weren't around and the weather sucked outside and you were sitting in a house and like your parents were going to watch whatever they wanted on TV. And you had nothing to do. Like there was nothing there. I really like today. There's no such thing as nothing to do to entertain yourself with. There's always a way to entertain yourself. But kids back in the 80s and 90s, yes, there were times where you're like, I'm so bored and I have nothing to do. So your option was nothing, sit in your room and stare at a wall, or go back to that game that
Did you guys ever get
hated.
hit with like when you would tell your parents you were bored, they'd be like, well, you could clean your room.
Yes, I've heard that from my parents before. Yes, and there were times where I
Man.
did do it. So, and I
That's
was like,
rough.
after I did it, I was like, okay, now I'm bored and in a clean room. So this is what I. And then at some point, I was like, wait a minute, I know what they're doing. So whatever. Yes, Radical Defects. Send that to the questions email, please, and I'll tackle that there. So I wrote about that. It was a fun experience. And maybe just, I don't want to say see things in a new light, but just like rekindle feelings, which is great.
It was great. Look, I'm a very selfish person. I don't I'm not used to children either. I'm the youngest in my family, so like I was never really around kids and stuff. So it was for me, a surprisingly fun afternoon. I don't think I could do much more than the 4-hour journey that we did, but like I can see myself getting annoyed after a while, because like, especially with like Star Fox, for example, like, look, it was fun to watch him play and he was having a ball.
Give me the controller. Just give it to me and I'll do
like,
it.
Just the fact that like it's telling you what to do, his dad's telling him what to
Yeah.
do, and he's doing nothing, and you're just like, and he's like running into things like a kamikaze, and you're just like, and like you could tell that like R-Type wanted to be like,
Yes.
I mean, he wasn't he was really great dad,
Yes.
but like he wanted to be, he kept like, he didn't lose his cool. He kept
Yeah.
saying like comments that the kid wasn't really picking up. Like there was like a little spin on it, like,
he's like, did you get that power up right there, or that power up, or
like,
there it goes?
Your other X, hit X,
Yes.
hit the other X. No, the other,
Yes.
go left. No, the other
You could
left.
do a U-turn to get those things. Like he's
Yeah, like-
saying, you could do the U-turn, or okay, maybe not. And
But,
yeah, it
yeah.
was. You could tell like the gamer and R-Type wanted to be like what Mom Brain said, just give me that controller and make it. But yes, at least you got to play some Party House though. So there was a little bit of time when you took over.
Yeah, Party
And,
House was surprisingly fun. I think it.
And he was into that too.
I think it disarmed everybody, because like at first people were like, "What is it?" Like I think people were ready to be like, "All right, this isn't going to last." But then as I explained the game to them, they were getting into it. The only thing was every time the cops got called and I had to kick somebody out of the party, the kid kept being like, "Kick out the dog," and I was like, "No, the dog. We need the
you
dog.
don't understand. The dog's good.
We want to kick out the wild buddies." Like,
but yes, he was honestly, he was open to every game. Really, there wasn't anything where he was like, "I don't like this. I don't want to play this." Like none of that. So it was fun. It was fun. Moving on. I also wrote about Daffy Duck Foul Play. That's FOWL. Foul Play. So this is amazing. Maddie Biss, I will read that in a moment, I promise. I was on TikTok and I got gameplay for a Game Boy Color game. Oh, son of a bitch, Radical Defect. I hope you enjoy it. I saw a game on TikTok called Daffy Duck Foul Play for the Game Boy Color. And I'd never heard of this game. I was so blown away by this game. I saw it and I was like, this is, from an animation standpoint, so impressive that I honestly don't know if I'm looking at a real Game Boy Color game. I was like, this might be somebody trying to fake a video. And I went to the comments and all the comments were like, this isn't real. This is AI. This is fake. And I was like, I legitimately don't know if this is a fake game or not. So I went on YouTube, or I went to Wiki. Wiki said the game was real. And I went to YouTube and I was like, Daffy Duck Foul Play, long play. And I had somebody playing the whole game, started it from the beginning. And I was like, let me see if it matches up. And I was like, oh my God, this is a real game. And the video I saw was real. So in my opinion, before this, Way Forward is the king of animation in video games. When it comes to sprite-based animation, they were the kings. I think they do gorgeous sprite animation, and I still think they do amazing animation in general. Daffy Duck Foul Play makes their animation look like garbage. I was so floored by the animation in this game. I posted the video on Patreon of the exact video that I watched. The animation in this game is so buttery smooth. it is to a degree that I have never seen in a sprite-based game ever. Not even
Would
close.
you call it vulgar?
No, why?
I don't know. Just
Vulgar? No, I'd call it
got doo-doo in there in your glasses.
what do you? I'm trying to think of a really a word for something really impressive. It was scrumtrelescent. It was just mind blowing. And I went to go see who made it, and it was made by Sunsoft. You know Sunsoft, and they have some amazing games like Batman or Fester's Quest or Blaster Master. And they do have some games that have really nice animation in them. But
Sunset Riders? Is that Sunset?
no, that's Konami. That's Konami.
That's twice I screwed Konami.
Right?
2 weeks in a row.
So it's very clear. I don't know. I can't speak to the quality of the gameplay itself. It looks like a pretty standard platformer, which is fine. But it's very clear Sunsoft had the rights to work with Looney Tunes characters, and they were like, you know what we should do? These are animated characters. We should really spend a lot of time on animation to honor the animated characters. And boy, oh boy, I don't know how much or how many people on the team are doing animation, but this is like animated movie level quality of animation in a game. And I'm talking about during gameplay. It is so like the amount this is now you'll know this is animated on the ones.
Oh.
And it's crazy. Like I wish I should have taken GIFs of it to drop in the Discord, but really, if you've never seen it, go to Daffy Duck Foul Play on YouTube and look up the long play, because it is mind-boggling how good this animation is. So like I said, I know video games pretty darn well, and I legitimately couldn't tell if I was looking at a ROM hack or a real game. So if you are at all interested in animation in games and sprite-based animations in particular, go look at this game. Like Radical Defect says, I brought it to their attention, and they went on eBay and picked up a copy for $15. So there were people who were saying they have, random clone devices for the Game Boy Color that, have backlit screens and really nice screens. And they either were very tempted to get this game to play it, or they did end up purchasing this game to play it because this is so impressive. And it probably sings on screens like that. So go check it out. Really cool stuff.
Oh, yeah. It does look good.
That is not from the game. But I can hear the song Daffy singing because I've seen that episode a bazillion times. I also wrote about Endocopia. Endocopia is a game that came out on PC last month, at the tail end of last month, and I only found out about it because YouTube gave me a soundtrack sample. It just came up with one of the songs from the soundtrack, and I listened to it, and I liked it, and I was like, what is this game? Endocopia is a 90s style point and click adventure with a horror twist. And it doesn't just play like a 90s point and click. It has the look of a 90s point and click, specifically like it reminds me a lot of Grim Fandango, but it also reminds me a lot of like edutainment games of that era. So if you know, it just has that vibe to it. Hello, Joe Shabadoo. Good to see you.
Infotainment.
So go check out a trailer for Endocopia because it looks really cool. I love point and click games. I love the atmosphere and vibe that they have to them. We don't really see too many point and click games nowadays. And we especially don't see too many that like harken back to the style of then that creates that vibe and atmosphere that is like palpable and was a big part of point and click games back then. So I'm very excited to play the game. I didn't have a chance to play it before the podcast this weekend, but I will be at least jumping in this week because I love supporting indie developers. I love point and click style games. That's something that makes a lot of sense for me to sit down at the computer and play, which I don't usually do. So
it's computer
only on the computer right now. I have no idea if they have plans
on computer.
I have no idea if they plan on porting it or not, but
you could use the mouse on the Switch too.
You see that? Yes, that makes porting a lot easier for these companies without a doubt. Because there's certain point and click games where you're like, I don't want to have to map this to a controller or do like a fake cursor or anything like that. So yes, I'm sure that it also depends on how well the PC version sells because you need money to do that kind of stuff. So we'll see, but reviews are very positive on this game. Like I said, it looks really good. And then finally,
Finally.
I haven't read what you guys said yet because I posted it yesterday.
Finally!
I wrote about the Switch 2 Pro controller and the GL and GR buttons, which are programmable. And we talked about them before the Switch 2 came out. But now that the Switch 2 has been out for a year, I asked you guys, what are you using those programmable buttons for? Because I personally do not use them, but maybe the right game hasn't come along yet. But I know other people swear by them and love them. So I asked you guys what you are using them for. And I will read your answers tonight when I write my next post. So there's still time to get in there on that. But yeah, love the Pro controller on Switch 2. Just have I don't have any need for it.
I gotta start using those buttons. I have a feeling that for certain things it would help me, like a guy like me with my wrist problem.
Yeah, repetitive strain situations. I'm sure that would definitely help. Yeah, you should give it a shot for whatever movements you're doing in games where you're like, oh, my finger's killing me or my wrist is killing me. Maybe if you switched it to one of those, it would help. Yeah.
Piper was feeling lonely.
Oh,
How so?
She was meowing at me, and I told her to come say hello to the
Hi,
people.
Piper. You're welcome in here, Piper. You can just stare at me.
I think that's what she'll do.
That's what she's doing.
Yeah.
she's like, I don't want to get picked up and put on camera again and forced into the microphone like last week.
She's sitting and staring into the living room like she's
That's
like,
what
guys,
she wants. Come sit in here with me.
Yeah,
Sorry, Piper.
I'll let you not pet me in here.
Yeah, exactly. I'll sit in the middle of the living room and you could stare at me while you're sitting in here.
I could be admired. She loves to be admired.
And that is your Patreon post for today. Now let us get to the news. Finally. It was a big news week. Let us talk about the things that happened this week. Starting with, we had some new classic interviews. We had some new summaries of classic interviews from Japanese magazines that slipped through the cracks or maybe never were translated until this very day. And they've given us some very interesting details about things. This is very interesting and also sad. So, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. I believe
We love it.
you've played that.
Great game. Lots
Yes.
of fun.
Loved it.
One of the most charming Nintendo games, and that's saying a lot.
Got its start through Super Mario 3D World, where that game had special bonus stages where you played as Captain Toad in what eventually became Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, basically. And we got some insight onto how that game came to be, thanks to a retro interview that was recently translated. Nintendo's Shinya Hiratake came up with the idea of Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, but believe it or not, he conceived it first as something that used the Zelda IP, which I think makes perfect sense. I could see how that would be a lot of fun for a Zelda spin-off game. Maybe, who knows if it was Link or Zelda or maybe even another character from the franchise, but wandering around in these puzzle-like environments, yeah, that makes sense to me. So Mr. Hiratake had this idea, and he put together, and instead of doing a video game or like a software prototype, he's like, to explain how this really works, I'm going to make a physical prototype. So he made an actual 3D model in real life to show how this would work. And he got his pitch with Miyamoto. And he went to Miyamoto, and he's like, so here's, we'll say Link. Here's Link, and he goes around these environments, and the player can spin the environment to see, like, areas to go and how they can get in to collect these things. And, rotating it the right way shows you things you might not have been able to see. And there's little isometric puzzles in there. And Miyamoto was like, I love this. This is great. Let's do this. He's like, let's get this toy out there. And Hiratake was like, oh, no, this isn't a toy. Like, I want to make this as a video game. And Miyamoto was like, no, we're not doing that. And he's like, oh. And then it just didn't happen.
Amazing that he saw the potential in the toy, but not the video game.
Right? Exactly. So the Zelda video game didn't happen. But years later, obviously, Hiratake and other people who worked with him believed in the idea, and they put it into 3D World for a Super Mario 3D World. And Miyamoto was like, oh, this is great. And then they did a spin-off and whatever. So I don't know if it's a case of Miyamoto just couldn't envision it being Zelda related. Maybe if he pitched it as a Mario game, it would have worked out.
That could be a big thing if it was just a generic character, just so he could maybe think about the actual game itself. Because as a Zelda, I can see not wanting to, use Link in a game like that. But man, for Captain Toad, it's perfect.
So eventually the idea came to fruition, which is great to see. But Mr. Hirotake revealed that he was so upset about how the pitch with Miyamoto went that he took the prototype that he made and literally burned it. He set it on fire and destroyed it. He said it was such a bad memory that I decided to let it die, which is so sad. So again, eventually the idea came to life, which is great. Maybe not exactly how Hirotake envisioned, but I'm sure he was very pleased that oh, great. The idea I came up with is finally going to become a video game. And that's great for him. And it was a lovely game, but there's a piece of Nintendo history that no longer exists because he burned it. I don't, maybe someone took pictures of it and we have pictures of it that exist somewhere, but just sad to know that I totally get that he was so bummed out that he's like, I don't even want to think about this anymore.
I think that's a cultural thing where he because I feel like maybe he felt like a failure or something, because man, that's pretty harsh. And I think it's honorable that they take it so serious, that they're so into their art, that he could do something like that. But that seems, I don't know, seems pretty extreme. Unless there's something we're not knowing about this meeting with Miyamoto. Maybe Miyamoto upended the tea table.
When I was writing this story, I was like, this is a typical Miyamoto upending the tea table situation. But I'm sure there is some of Japan's or Japanese culture in this, honor and commitment and pride and all that stuff. And I'm sure that adds into the pressure of it all to some degree, certainly. But also, I am blanking on the word, but I can identify with this because I have had things that I've made. There's been animations that I made a long time ago and some songs I've made a long time ago where I made them and I finished them or got very close to finishing them and played through it again. And I was like, I hate this. And I just deleted it. And that's it. It's gone just because I was so, I don't want to say ashamed, but so disappointed with how things turned out where I was like, nope, this is a bad memory. I don't want it. And I would like to say now I look back and I'm like, I wish I could, but I don't feel that way. I still don't because my last memory is being disappointed by it. So I wanted to get rid of it.
All those songs that you gave me that are probably gone now. And you
I got rid of them.
And you don't even want to hear them.
No, and there's plenty that I never gave anybody and died. They might be on another computer somewhere around here, but there's plenty of stuff that I've gotten a good 70% through. And I was like, no, forget it. This isn't going how I want it to. So there's stuff on my computer. I don't make music anywhere like I used to, but every once in a while I'll get the itch. And there will be when it really happens to me a lot? When there's a lot of presentations. When there's a lot of presentations that I don't know if they're going to have Nintendo related stuff. And it's just me sitting staring at a screen for 3 hours where maybe one Nintendo thing will pop up or two Nintendo things. So I'm sitting there doing nothing. That's when I'll bring up a chiptune tracker or something and just fart around and have one ear listening to one thing and one ear listening to the presentation, and I'll go back and forth and screw around with stuff, and I'll be like, yeah, this is something, and then then I'll shift my focus to that completely one night and be like, this is terrible, and just delete it. So it still happens, just not like it used to. But anyway, very happy that Captain Toad Treasure Tracker finally saw Hirotake's idea come to life. Maybe not as he originally envisioned, but as a game that sold very well and ended up becoming, like Deux said, one of Nintendo's most charming titles. Zeldude says, seen this old story is resurfacing in a few places the last 24 hours. Not sure why. The interview is from 2015. I learned about this from GoNintendo over a decade ago. Did we talk about him burning it? Really? Captain Toad is one of my favorite games of recent years, so God bless you, Hirotake. Now the sequel. When, please? I'll take my Captain Toad Treasure Tracker Switch 2 edition plus Miyamoto's Diorama of Doom. I mean, I would love a sequel. Yes. The game got ported to everything. It was on, what was that on? Was that on Wii U first?
Great question.
Had to be, right? I know it went to 3DS. And then did it go to, it was on Switch, right? It's on everything. But yeah, it got a lot of ports. So I guess that goes, I guess that's even more. more of a happy thing for Hirataka to see. Not only did it get released, but it went to multiple platforms too. Thank you, Radical. Yes, Wii U, 3DS.
That was one of those games that I felt compelled to get everything in every stage.
Yep. Man, is that game good? I vividly remember playing that the first time and being like, this is that like special Nintendo magic. There's just like something to that where everything just feels so good together. Moving on to another classic story. So, as you may know, Nintendo and Capcom have worked together on Zelda titles, at least portable Zelda titles, such as Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons. They also did Minish Cap. There was a time there where Capcom and Nintendo were best buds making Zelda games. And now we know it all got started because one Capcom developer got very mad at Nintendo. This comes from a 1999 issue of the German magazine Total. Capcom's Yoshiki Okamoto shared a story of how Oracle of Ages and Seasons came to be. Turns out Mr. Okamoto went to Nintendo and he was like, hey, you guys got this thing called the Game Boy Color. I think that's really cool. We at Capcom want to make something, but we want to actually make something that you guys already made. He's like, let's take the original Zelda for the NES and we'll port it to the Game Boy Color for you guys. And Miyamoto was like, nah, we ain't doing that. So clearly Miyamoto's got something with Zelda. You're not touching it, whatever. So Miyamoto said no. And Okamoto was like, I'll do it myself. You guys don't have to do anything. I'll do it myself. And Miyamoto was like, no. So Okamoto took the unprecedented move of saying, okay, you're not going to let us port Zelda to the Game Boy Color? Well, how about this? I'm going to go back and Capcom's going to make a game just like Zelda for the Game Boy Color, and we're going to put it out on our own. How do you think of that? Miyamoto was like, no, let's not do that. Let's work together on something. So that paved the way for Oracle of Ages and Seasons. So Miyamoto still didn't acquiesce on the idea of the original Zelda going to Game Boy Color, but he did say, let's work together and make a new Zelda, which turned into 2 new Zeldas, which was actually, I think, going to be 3 new Zeldas at the time.
That's the most interesting part about what an interesting story for that game, because it became, like you said, it became 2, it was going to be 3, and it was almost none at all.
Yeah, and it's crazy that like it is very interesting for me to think of Miyamoto being like, no way, you're not going to port the original Zelda to Game Boy Color, but I will let you work on a brand new Zelda. It's like, I don't understand that, but whatever.
Especially if the guy was playing hardball like that. I mean, that seems pretty rude.
Yes.
You'd think you wouldn't want to work with that person.
Yeah, we don't know how much, this story is embellished or what the tone was or anything like that. But you could also, knowing how Miyamoto is to some degree, see Miyamoto being like, I like this guy. Like, he sees me as like, the big guy at Nintendo. He comes to me to pitch this idea. I say no. He tries to counter. I still say no. And he's like, all right, you piece of trash. I'm going to go make my own game. And Miyamoto's like, I respect that. I could see that being the case.
Plucky. The kid's plucky.
Yeah, exactly. He's like looking at authority and being like, no, F you. So I think that's kind of cool. Nin2000 says, this is the most upvoted comment. Oracle of Ages is needlessly complex game. I found it very unenjoyable with too much backtracking. I've yet to finish the final 2 dungeons. Let's do a little bit of... I disagree with that statement, not surprisingly, but hold on. I want to make sure I get this right. Okay, Oracle of Ages. Oracle of Ages. I just want to get my facts straight here.
Oracle.
2001. How old were we in 2001?
Were we?
82,
19.
92, 19. So not kids, but not kids. Because I was going to say, I don't remember Oracle of Ages or Seasons being difficult. I don't remember them getting stuck in them. Maybe I remember one part in one of them where I had the kangaroo and it took me a little bit to figure out where to go, but I don't remember getting like frustrated.
Well, I mean,
you're saying, well, I mean, it was me, so I wouldn't get
your
frustrated.
nickname when it comes to video games has been Godmaster.
Well, I remember like plenty of games where I like either through difficulty or the difficulty of a puzzle getting like not like mad to the point where I would turn it off, but like getting frustrated, being like, I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do here. And then like turning it off, being like, I need to think about it. And then going back the next day and being like, I'll try this. I'll try that. Sure, that happens with games. But I don't remember those 2 games being frustrating. I wonder, I would like to know Nin 2000's like age when he first played them, or if he's just playing them now, or how old he is now. Like, I want to know the other factors in there, because, like, maybe if you started playing them when you were 10 or 11 and they were needlessly complex to you then, and they just left a bad taste in your mouth and you never went back to them. I don't know. There's more to the story, and
Could be.
I want to know it.
For the record, Piper is still sitting where she was sitting before when we were talking to her.
Oh, as soon as I looked at her and acknowledged her, she turned her head.
Of course. Classic Piper.
Milk My Kiss. This is the internet. One guy saying the game is needlessly complex, don't like them. And then somebody else, Milk My Kiss, which is a great name, says, you know what? I'm glad they did. Seasons and Ages are masterpieces in the Zelda series. The top-down Zelda games just hit different, and I hope we get remakes of those along the way, blah, blah, blah. So there you go. The duality of man and the duality of the internet. This is the worst, and this is the best. So, as we know, there's no in between. Moving on. There is a Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave Nintendo Direct this week, which I don't really need to cover because
Fortune's Weeb.
It was, just a break, 20 minutes on that game alone, and it just gave us more insight on that. You can go read the full breakdown, which we have if you want. And there is first comment comes from Conan Giga, and they quote part of what Nintendo said. From each hero story, you can travel through time again to change to a different path. Progress is saved for each of the heroes, so playing each story in parallel is also an option. Conan Giga says, seems better than the Three Houses, but still. So I don't know what to tell you. There you go. They think it's better, but not what they want it to be. So go read that if you want to hear, the latest details on that game. I'll skip that one. We have our financial results from Nintendo. This is the only time where, while I dread the fiscal results, they're not as bad as usual, because as you may have heard me say in the past, the worst times of the year for me are Nintendo's financial reports. They happen quarterly, and they are big dumps of sales information and other details, followed by presentations, and then followed by Q&A sessions, and it's a week worth of a whole bunch of work that I can't stand. But quarter one is the only quarter where Nintendo doesn't do a Q&A. So it's just the first thing, and that's it, which is fantastic. So not as bad. Oh, God, something's wrong with me. I'm dying.
Yeah, what's the matter?
Gassy. I don't know. So all I had to do is this thing, and I will break it down for you. This is quarter one of the new year. So this fiscal year ends March 31st. So this fiscal quarter ended June 30th. These are the numbers up to June 30th for the fiscal year. Switch 2 has sold 23.68 million units worldwide. Switch 2 software has hit 58 million units worldwide. The Switch has hit 156.59 million units worldwide. And the Switch software is at 1.561 billion units sold worldwide. Blah, 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 blah. Digital business is up 90%. IP-related business is up 107%. Obviously, that's because of the movie. Overall sales hit 517 billion yen, which is up. Operating profit increased 150% year on year. Ordinary profit totaled 206 billion, again up all around. Nintendo recorded $300 million as a reduction of cost of sales in connection with the tariff situation.
Oh, but look at this. Soul percentage down 100%.
Oh, I forgot to report that number. That's why IGN said that.
They lost their soul. That's the number they were talking about.
That's how they made more profit, because they sold their soul. You're right. And Bart's and Lisa's soul and a little baby Simpson's soul. Game sales. What do we got here? The breakdown. Mario Kart World is still the best-selling Switch 2 game at 15.39 million. Pokemon Pokopia is over 5 million units. Now, I want to stress, Pokemon Pokopia is much larger than that in terms of overall sales. The thing is, Nintendo doesn't report those sales. That's Pokemon Company and Koei Tecmo. So we need to look to them for those numbers. But Nintendo can only tell you it's over 5 million. That's all they can say. It's much more than that. Donkey Kong Bonanza is at 4.7 million. Pokemon Legends ZA Switch 2 Edition is at basically 4 million. Kirby Air Riders is at 1.9 million. Super Mario Party Jamboree Switch 2 Edition is at 1.15 million. That's pretty damn good for just the upgraded version of Mario Party Jamboree. That's nuts, in my opinion. What about Switch? Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is at 71 million. Animal Crossing Old Horizons is at 50 million. It broke the 50 million mark in this quarter. Smash Brothers is at 38 million. Breath of the Wild is at 34 million. Odyssey is at 30 million. Scarlet and Violet, 28 million. Sword and Shield at 27 million. Tears of the Kingdom at 22 million. Super Mario Party at 21 million. Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe at 19 million. And Tomodachi Life Living the Dream has joined in at 8+ million already. That's in a quarter. That sucker is soaring. And to put that in perspective, in 1 quarter, Tomodachi Life Living the Dream has already outsold the best-selling Tomodachi Life, which was the 3DS one, which I believe was at 6 or 7 million, something around there. So literally 1 quarter's worth of sales managed to blow by the best-selling Tomodachi Life, which shows you how popular that game is. We don't need to do that. We don't need to do that. We don't need to talk about that. And nothing in the calendar has changed. All the dates that Nintendo has provided in the past still stand. So Fire Emblem is September 17th. Switch Sports Resort is October 22nd. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Switch 2 Edition is December 3rd. Ocarina of Time is sometime in 26. Pokemon Winds and Waves is sometime in 27. And Xenoblade Genesis is sometime in 27. So good news all around. There's more on that I made separate stories, which we'll talk about in a minute. Entropy says, and there are still people who say Nintendo should release their games on other platforms. And look at those ish numbers for Tomodachi Life. You're telling me, my friend, they are fantastic. As Deux mentioned earlier, last quarter we saw that, or it wasn't last quarter, a couple quarters ago, we saw that the Switch 2 had outsold the total install base of the Wii U, which shows again how poorly the Wii U sold, but how quickly the Switch 2 was selling. But now we have another record for the Switch 2, and this one is more impressive. The GameCube in its lifespan managed to sell 21.74 million units worldwide. So really not that great, but almost double what the Wii U did. The GameCube is still much loved, but it didn't really sell all that well. Well, the Switch 2 has now surpassed the total install base of the GameCube. Switch 2, again, is at 23.68 million sold worldwide. So the Switch 2 did in 1 year what the GameCube did in 5+. So that's fantastic. You stretch out those numbers and you're like, well, there's a very easy path for the Switch 2 to get over 100 million sold. So obviously that number should tick up when we see things like Ocarina of Time, Switch Sports Resort, the Pokemon Winds and Waves, definitely the next brand new Zelda game, whatever that ends up being, your next 3D Mario, of course. So big things are ahead and big numbers will certainly follow. So a new record for the Switch 2. And next time, sometime in this fiscal year, we'll be talking about how the Switch 2 outsold the N64, no doubt. So look forward to that. Pixel Punisher says pretty insane numbers, especially considering there have been released only a few exclusive must-have titles, plus things got much more expensive too. Yes, there's a whole bunch of things to consider there that make it even more impressive. I agree. Also, the Switch 2 continues with its pace of being Nintendo's best-selling hardware ever and the game industry's best-selling hardware ever. So, opposite of what IGN may have you think with their headlines, Nintendo has never had a system that has sold as quickly as the Switch 2. And the game industry has never seen a system that has sold as quickly as the Switch 2. It is on pace. It is exceeding what the Switch did for Nintendo in terms of units sold when launch aligned. So basically, You're looking at the first year of the Switch versus the first year of the Switch 2. The Switch 2 has sold more than the Switch. Is that going to continue in the second year? I don't know, because the Switch 2 had a stock situation that certainly got better. The Switch 2 is a much pricier system, but we know later this year we have Ocarina of Time, Switch Sports Resort, and again, 2027 has Pokemon Winds and Waves, and those are going to be system sellers like none others. So it's going to be interesting no matter what the case. It will be very interesting if you like to check out the sales figures and match up launch aligned and all that. And I am very interested in that, so I will share with you that information. Entropy says, and now with the insane prices for the PS5 and Xbox S and X and all their stupid divisions, and with more big exclusives coming, seems like this will just continue. It's going to be close, I will say. I'm not 100% confident to be like, it's going to continue because memory situation, according to reports I've read, memory allotments for the tech industry for 2027 are done. They have been sold and spoken for. So this situation is only going to get worse, which means anybody that needs those chips, including Nintendo and other game makers, could potentially have to raise their prices again. So if prices just continue to go up, that's going to impact sales of a system without a doubt. So I don't know. It sucks that Nintendo could have such a killer system and be like, well, tariffs really rocked the situation and memory prices suck now because of AI and all this stuff. And it's only going to get worse. You know, if we didn't live in this hellscape right now and like the Switch 2 had the same situation as the Switch, then yeah, you'd be like, this sucker's just going to keep going. But the market is too volatile for us to know that. But whatever happens, good or bad, we will be here to tell you. We're going to skip that. We're going to go into this. We're going to talk about all the Zelda movie news because this week had some big casting news for the Legend of Zelda movie. As a matter of fact, I think Quentz covered one earlier today. That's news to me. Let me check. Boy, this boy's going crazy. Man, oh man, he's done a lot today. Oh my God, he's done so much.
He's a maniac.
There, boy, that was crazy. I'm gonna have to thank him. So lots of Zelda movie related news this week, and let me fill you in. It's all casting related news. We found out first. This is not announced by Nintendo. This comes from Deadline, but they know this is true. Uli Latukefu has landed the role of Ganon in the Zelda movie. and reportedly, this is a multi-film role. I don't think it's any surprise to anyone that Nintendo and Sony are going to do more than one Zelda movie, unless this one is an absolute disaster at the box office, which it will not be. Even if the movie sucks, they're going to make enough money to warrant another one. But Uli Latukefu is Ganon. He played the Rock in the series Young Rock. I don't know what else he was in, but if you watched Young Rock, he was the younger version of Rock. So he is Ganon. But that's not all. We also learned that nope. We also learned that Deacon Lockman is going to be in Zelda. Now, for those of you who have been paying attention to the rumors for a while now, this was one that we found out months and months ago because there were set pictures that showed someone who looked to be Deacon Lockman playing the role of Impa. And supposedly that is exactly what's going on here. So when I first saw the footage, I was like, yeah, that looks exactly like her. And she was dressed like Impa. So that is even more confirmed now. If you don't know them by name, Deacon Lockman is in Severance. They play what's-his-face's wife. Mark's wife. Mark?
Yeah, you're right.
So
the ugly guy.
The world's ugliest man, yes, his wife. And also Yvonne Stravsky will be in the Zelda movie. They will be playing a queen. I don't know what queen. Queen of Hyrule. I don't know. So there's that. I'm saving yours for last, due on purpose, so you can talk about it. We also found out that today Lydia Peckham is going to be in the Zelda movie. We don't know what role they're playing, but we do know that they worked with the director of the Zelda movie, Wes Ball, previously, and they worked on Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. She also appeared in Nuremberg and The Wrecking Crew. So I am not familiar with her work, but apparently, if you watch The Planet of the Kingdom of the Apes, she stands out. So she'll be in the Zelda movie. We don't know doing what. And then finally, I'll let you take the last one.
It looks like it's been confirmed that Sam Neill, the late great Sam Neill, in his last film role ever, will play an undisclosed character in this Zelda movie.
It's true. I cannot tell you how quickly I put together this story so that I could send it
Thank
to
you.
you. I was like, I need to get this news to do
Really
because
sweet of you.
Sam Neill is a main man for Deux. Sadly, Sam Neill left us recently after a fight with why can't I think of the word?
Well, he had cancer and then he had pneumonia.
Pneumonia, yes. But he obviously filmed some other roles in there, and it seems that the Zelda movie will be his final role, and maybe he will be the king opposite whoever I said was the Yvonne as the queen. So if she's the queen of Hyrule, he would be the king of Hyrule. So you know where that goes storyline wise, but very cool. Obviously, his name lends a lot of credibility to the movie, I would think.
Well, he's the most well known, I would say. His
Yes.
name is the most known. But I kind of like. We were speculating who they could cast in these roles and stuff, and we've talked about this too. Sometimes it's best to go with people who aren't that well known for something like this.
Yeah. So we'll see. Yeah, but I am totally open to the idea of a live action Legend of Zelda movie, and I will reserve like my opinions until I see a trailer, and obviously then that won't be my full opinion. I'll need to see the movie, and I certainly will. But we know so little about this outside of actors. That's all that we really know. And like Deux said, I like the approach of not going with well-known actors. That's and I'm not saying they're bad actors because these are people who've been in things and people know these actors. They're just not as well as Sam Neill is, without a doubt, the most well-known actor in that group. That's people who, even if they might not know his name, when they see his face, they know the guy. So I'm excited to see what they do with these people, and I look forward to the trailer. The movie comes out April 30th, 2027. So we will be seeing something, I think, before this year closes out. We'll get some sort of something about it. So we shall see. But exciting news all around. You know what? Let's click. I will do this. I will go back to these stories and read the comments on what people said about these roles. On the Uli story, first comment comes from Zelda and says his wiki page notes him as a singer also. Hope we get a musical number at the organ.
That'd be awesome.
And then over on the Deacon Lockman Yvonne story, first comment comes from Joe Shabadoo and says, this is getting very fascinating. A queen character, you say? Queen of a non-human Hyrule race? Queen of the Zora with heavy makeup?
Oh.
The fairy queen, perhaps? So cool to see Sam Neill, too. I'm going to postulate that he either plays Link's late father in flashbacks, would be oddly prescient, or maybe one of the seven sages. Oh man, one of the seven sages would be really cool.
That's a great. Actually, he'd probably be the first sage that he.
That
meets,
would be cool
if it's going to be Ocarina of Time-esque.
So,
which I said King of Red Lions, but that sage becomes the King of Red Lions, I do believe. Or they're related somehow.
As far as my Zelda timeline and who's related, I don't know. It's bad, but yeah, that sounds cool. I said to do. I was hoping he ends up being Tingle, because there would be no greater final role for Sam Neill. But
That'd be awesome.
I don't think that's going to happen. But fingers
How funny would it be if he was like Darunia and he had to wear like all this makeup and you just couldn't even tell it was him? He's like a big rock guy.
Oh my God, he's going to be the Jabu Jabu. He's going to be King Jabu Jabu, and his whole line is going to be him going eerie, eerie. Yeah, that's it. That'd be amazing. So there you go. A flurry of Zelda casting news, which was cool to see because we don't really have anything on that. And then, as far as I'm concerned, we're going to go to releases. So that's where I do this. Everybody,
you don't want to read the one beauty on there?
what are you talking about? I only read the first comment. I didn't look at the rest.
Sorry, I wasn't talking about the comments. I was talking about the White House story, but I get why you're skipping.
Oh, it's just an update to a previous story. We've covered that already. I got no problem talking about it again. Yeah, as I've said before, the White House, this administration has many times used Nintendo imagery in promotional campaigns on social media, and that was not approved. And
since when did breaking the law stop this administration?
In the past, we've seen Japan's Minister for Foreign Affairs, Toshimitsu Motegi, speak out against this and say, don't do it. But just this week, we learned that he has, again, twice more put out statements saying, do not use Pokemon, do not use Mario, do not use Naruto, don't use any of that because you're hurting those brands. So yeah, that was just an update to a previous story we've done. But yeah, you know, my guess is they're not going to listen, but
Weird.
there you go. There's the update.
Every day we're one day closer.
Every day. All aboard, everybody, because it's time for my favorite releases. Umami. We got some releases for you this week. What do we got? Allow me to tell you. Switch 2. We got Arcade Archives 2 TX1. We also got Bubsy 4D plus Bubsy in the Perfect Collection, so that's a nice little bundle for you. Console Arcade Archives Doraemon, EA Sports Madden NFL 27 Deluxe Edition, Lego Party Switch 2 Edition, which is a free update. So if you have the Switch version, you can get this for free. Lies of P Complete Edition, that is the Souls game about Pinocchio, which apparently was well received and people really liked it. We also have Montabi, Rev Obakadoro 2 Chase and Seek. That's an asymmetric horror multiplayer game. Spooky Spirit Shooting Gallery for Switch 2. And finally, on August 11th comes The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered. What about on Switch? We got Airy Surreal World, Angel Engine. That sounds like the name of an anime if I've ever heard it. Auni 2. Apocalypse? No. Arcade Archives TX1, Blast Off Summer Showdown, Clover Pit. We got the PC 8801 Mark II version of Elf Led. Sure. Fantasy Maiden Wars, Dream of the Stray Dreamer. Fix Fox, Gods with Guns, Grizzy and the Lemmings, Crazy Party. HoloLive Fantasy Battle, the Jaleco Famicom version of Rodland, John Fox, Limbot, Love Spell Written in the Stars, Starlight Edition, My Child of the Ages, that's MAI, Storms of Time, Montabi, Obekadoro 2, Chase and Seek, Pet Survivors, Pro Jank Footy, check that out, looks really cool, being serious, Route 16, Route 16R, and Route 16 Turbo, and then finally, Tailspinner. There are your savory releases for the week. Sadly, no comment on mine, but that's the way it goes. Michaels, do you mind handling the European releases?
Ooh-coo.
Nikki Hill, we speak your name. Joshua Grobot, if you could please.
What are the next European masterpieces? Let's find out with Nikki's sweet releases.
And I will be making pee-pee.
All right.
Have a nice pee-pee.
Not at the table.
It's time for the European Switch eShop releases, the week of August 6th, the year of our Lord, 2026. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Dew Michaels filling in for Nikki Hill. Nikki Hill, we speak your name. For Switch 2, we have Big Walk, Final Fantasy XIV Online, Lego Party Nintendo Switch 2 Edition, Lies of P Complete Edition, Montabi, Opacacadero Doro 2, Parkasaurus Dinolux Edition, Spooky Spirit Shooting Gallery for Nintendo Switch 2. And on Switch, we have Airy Surreal World, Angry Raccoon, Auni 2, Apocalypse No, Bee with Gun, Blast Off Summer Showdown, Castaway, the Egg Console PC 8801 MK2 SR version of Ethelede, Fix Fox, Giggleport, Gods with Guns, Hex Park, Horror Cliché, Ink Splash, Jalico Famicom version of Rodland, Jellymath, Kinseed, Limbot, My Child of Ages, Storms of Time, Metamorphosis, Max Speed, Montabi, Obacacterodoro 2, Ocean Shark Survival Float Home Builder Simulator, Paw Patrol Dino World,
ACAP.
Pool Party Boys, Splash Guys, Rain Station Z, Ryoko Ghost House, Route 16, Route 16 Collection, Route 16R, Route 16 Turbo, Schoolboy Sim, Solitaire World, Anime Waifus, Star Troopers Combat Force, Street Racing Simulator Evo, Car and Moto, Tailspinner, Tibby and the Lost and Found, Titanic Survival Simulator, Witchfall, Word Hive, and last but not least, Extreme Traffic Racing. And sadly, there are no comments on this article either.
Great job, dude. Thank you very much. Nikki Hill, again, we speak your name. My voice is going away. And I have an idea why. I'm not sure if that's why, but we'll talk about it right now. Now it's time to talk about what we played and do. We are going to you first, and then Mom Brain and I will just chime in because we're all going to talk about the same thing. So do please. You have been waiting to talk about this, and now you are unshackled. You are free to speak of whatever you want.
The world needs to know. Well, let's get some junk out of the way here. We got Animal Crossing Old Horizons. We've got Party House with R-Type's kid, as far as like what I personally played. And then we've got the Long Dark. Real quick on the Long Dark, I just want to say, because remember last week I told you that like I jumped back in and I got stomped by a moose and I had 5. So I had 5 broken ribs. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to push through and I'm going to heal. I'm going to persevere and I'm going to come back and get this moose. So it's like 3 weeks in game to heal these ribs, right? And like I don't even want to tell you how much of a struggle it was, but it was really fun. And then I got literally every single day I was checking the ribs, and like one rib would heal after a week, and then another rib, and then before I knew it, there was only one rib left to heal, and there were 24 hours left. And I was like, there was like a place that I was going to go to because I found a Polaroid, and if you go to where the Polaroid is, you get to map that area. So I was like, well, I could wait 24 hours and I'll be fully healed. I've got all the food, I've got my shelter and everything, and all I have to do is wait and hibernate basically for a day. Or I could just go up there. And I was like, let me just go up there now. And I tried to climb this mountain to get, something stupid that I could have done in a day. And a wolf came around the corner and got me. And instead of 2, and that shouldn't have been a problem either because I had the hatchet. And instead of switching to the hatchet to beat him off me, I switched to the crowbar, and the crowbar just wasn't brutal enough. And I got killed. And it was like literally after days of playing, 3 weeks in game, almost healing, and the last day, the 24 hours left, you just couldn't make it up. So I thought that was funny. But the best thing that we have been playing for a couple of weeks now is a little game called Big Walk. So Big Walk is excellent. I wish you would talk about it first, to be honest.
What the hell, man? You've been not yelling at me. You've been very angry about how you can't talk about it. Now I'm like, the floor is yours. And you're like,
I don't want to be the guy that introduces it. You should, because there's like, there's great people involved who like made the game and they gave it to you. So like, I think you should preface what it is, and then I can tell you why it's one of the greatest friend games ever.
Big Walk is made by House, who made Untitled Goose Game prior to this, another game that Deux has played and Mom Brain has played, and they both loved it. Big Walk has been 6+ years in the making, 7 years in the making. It is unfortunately, because I have no other thing to call it, friend slop, because that's just the term we're going with, which I hate.
Party game.
It's not a party game because it has no party games in it. A party game is like Mario Party or something like that, or Lego Party, or there are other party games that don't have the name party in it.
Puzzle Friends.
You get together with friends online. Yes, you cannot play with random people. You have to know the people you're playing with, or you have to go online on some forum and be like, I have no friends. Can somebody join me in this game? And then you exchange friend information. 2 to 12 people. You cannot play it solo. So as long as you have one other person, the puzzles that you will do scale to the player group, although I believe it stops scaling at like 5 or 6 people. So, because the game lets you choose 2-player, 3-player, or 4+ players. So I think your scaling roughly stops at 4+. And you're out in a mountain, and one of my favorite parts of the game is outside of basic controls, things are not explained to you. Goals are not explained to you. Nothing is explained to you. You just go out there with your buddies and figure out what you're supposed to do or what you want to do, and you just explore and you figure it out as you go, which I could not be happier about, because I think we don't get enough of that in games anymore. And that's personally my favorite kind of game. And I know while Doom may not like that in most games, I think the difference maker is when you have that kind of experience with other people there around you, it makes it perhaps not grating at all for you. You enjoy it because you get to talk with each other and figure out things together. So there's an organic experience to it with your buddies that takes the bad taste out of some players' mouths when they're like, give me a tutorial, show me where to go, point to me the thing that I'm supposed to get, all that stuff. So a lot of it is walking, obviously, and a lot of it is puzzle solving. And I don't want to get into the specifics of the puzzles as much as I can. There may be some instances where we have to talk about a little bit about how they work, but it has proximity voice chat in the sense that however close you are to the person in the game, you will hear them louder or quieter. And then there are ways in the game to speak over distances, but you have to find them, such as walkie-talkies or megaphones. There's things like flare guns that help you show where you are, but perhaps you get lost, or where you want. If you split up with your group, maybe you each take flare guns, and when you find something, you shoot a flare in the air, and that lets the other team know, oh, we go over here and do this thing. There's backpacks to carry stuff. There's holsters to carry stuff. There's just a whole bunch of stuff that you go out and find on your own organically, and you experience what the game has to offer. And that includes straightforward gameplay and secrets and questions and mysteries. And it's all on this giant island that you traverse by foot or by train or by gondola or by... Well, I don't even want to say the other one, because train and gondola you see. As you're walking around the island, you see. You may not be able to use them right away, but there's another way to get around the island, which I will not say, because in some ways it's my favorite, because we went a good chunk of the game, maybe a third of the game, if not more, not knowing that that was there. And when we found it, we were like, this is unbelievable.
Yeah, it really is something. The sense of discovery in this game is something that I haven't experienced in a long time. I don't know why. Maybe because it doesn't tell you a thing about the game. It's very disarming, because while the game, I think the environments look beautiful, the characters look goofy. And so, like, if you don't know anything about it, you could be a little disarmed, like I don't really know what I'm getting into. And then to find out that it doesn't tell you what you're getting into, and then as you're getting into the things, you just slowly realizing, like, little by little, what the game's all about.
By the way, Mom Brain has been playing too. She played one long session. Because she's going to talk about the game, or she's probably going to jump in and say things. I just wanted you guys to know she's been playing, just not with us.
Yeah, it's just so fun. I mean, yes, having your friends there exploring it with you is that takes it to the next level. But the way the game is laid out, and with the proximity chat, like, you are forced to kind of stick close to your friends or find some alternative to communicating, and you have to put your noggins together, not in like a school way. Like, don't think like, oh god, these puzzles it's like we're in school or something. Like, no, they're it's like extremely fun to like figure it out with your buddies, and the sense of accomplishment when you finish a puzzle is just it's crazy. It's like such a dopamine hit that I haven't felt in a long time, and it's just so great to do it with your friends as these little characters going through. I mean, it's just absolutely magical, and I don't want to stop playing it. I want to explore it. I love that it's multiplayer only, and you can't even take things off of your back. Yeah, I mean, it's not going to help you if you have a radio on your back. You can hear somebody, but you need a buddy to take it off your back to let you hold it. So you can't really even play alone. And there's something very special about the way, like all that kind of the way it works together. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I could keep playing it forever. I wish they would keep just doing DLCs with more puzzles, because I just want to keep exploring. And the more things you unlock, the more you want to see where they lead and see what's going on. And it's just, I don't know. It was disarmingly fun. And I feel like if they came out and they were just like, do this puzzle, get this thing, and then put it in here, and then get enough of them, and it'll lock something, like, that's boring. Like, it's because it's not like the most riveting. If you just read it on paper, it's not like all that riveting. But when you're like doing it yourself and figuring it out with your crew, I'm telling you, it's like a whole nother level. I feel like if you have a couple of good friends, you're gonna find it hard matching an experience like this with them. I really think it's something special. So much charm in it. Looks great. The day-night cycle is great. The lighting effects, I think, are really awesome. The flare guns, the funny things that you can do with everything. I mean, everything can be a joke, whether you want it to be or not, in the best way possible. It's just like from a fun, joyous standpoint of, we're playing video games with your friends and it's fun. Like, it's an experience that's tough to beat, I would say. So highly recommended. So very happy that I got to play this so early with you guys. I mean, that was another thing that kind of blew me away. You've been in this business for a long time, RMC, and you've gotten games ahead of schedule before and all that, which is totally cool. But I don't think we've ever been involved on this level so early with such a multiplayer experience. So not only was I like honored to be a part of that, because it just felt so cool to play something that no one was playing, like, but I wasn't expecting it. Like, I really wasn't expecting this game to get a hold on me. I mean, we haven't played Fortnite in like 2 weeks, and I'm totally cool with that.
Yeah, longer for me. Like, I've exclusively, when it comes to online games, been playing Big Walk, and that's it. I haven't played Fortnite since before vacation. So it's been, when we go on vacation?
Almost a month.
Yeah, so it's been a long time. I love Fortnite, and I want to go back, and I'm very excited for the next season. But right now, all I care about is Big Walk. There's no night where I'm going to be like, yes, I would rather play Fortnite than Big Walk.
There's something about Big Walk where, again, it might be because you don't know anything going into it and you're like piecing it together as you go. But when you unlock certain things, if you, again, on paper, if you were like, oh, do all this and you unlock this, and like on paper, you'd be like, so what? But like when you unlock it and you see what the implications of this are on your future gameplay, I don't want to say anything about what it is, because it's, again, you'd hear me say it and you'd be like, so what? But like when you're playing it,
you're right. It is very much like, if you just read it on paper, it'd be like, okay,
do you know
like, what's the big deal? But when you experience it in game, it's like, this is unbelievable.
It's so cool.
I think that I'm just sort of coming to this right now. I think that I
Come
know
to
that
me.
you're playing a game, right? So you're playing, but I think there is something about the way that the game is played that reminds me of like playing outside with my friends. Like
definitely.
like feral children with
It's like what you
no-
imagined adventures like when you were kids.
Yeah, with like no time limit and no rules, and like we're just out here, and like so when you get something cool, you're like, we're gonna be able to use this for this or this or this,
Yeah.
or you come upon something and you're like, oh my god, like so and so has something that I think would be helpful. Like there was an item that somebody was using when we were playing, and I was like, thank goodness you had that, because
I mean, you can say the items
Well,
mostly.
so Dan had the laser pointer, and we were like separated, and he was like shooting the laser pointer like off and on, and like he couldn't hear us.
Right.
And I was like, I saw the laser pointer. I found Dan, and then we were like reunited with each other.
Mom
and it
Brain was
great.
playing with all family, so
there were
she was
9
in a
of
group
us.
Of, I think it was 10 altogether.
Maybe.
That's so cool.
And it was great because at one point one of our family members got separated from the group.
Yes, it's
and
10, myself included. 10.
Which can happen very easily too, because you're just used to playing a game and doing whatever, and then before you know it, you might have walked too far around, and you're like, wait a minute, where's
There was,
everybody?
like,
it happened 10 times easier playing with this group. They're
Yeah.
insane.
There was
They're
like a search party was formed to go find her, and she was found, and we were reunited. There was a part where we realized that like, you know, you could get on each other's shoulders, and I was like, okay, I'll hold people up because I'm
Yes.
not good to be on the
Family
top.
in
Like,
particular was very obsessed with that.
and then there was a part where like you had to do a puzzle in one area, and I was like, I'm gonna bring myself back a little souvenir, and I brought a piece of that puzzle back to the area that we were all
Mom
in.
Brain and I share that DNA because, I've done that many times where I take like one of the signboards and carry it with me, or like there was one section where there was the tea kettle that I was carrying up through the building and all that stuff. So I don't know what it is in us
Well,
that makes us do that.
and
But I'm like,
our-
yeah, I'm gonna bring this with us.
Our one family member that got separated from everybody later texted and was like, just want you to know that the souvenir you brought back kept me company while I was separated from everybody. And I was like, that makes me so happy. I mean, there was just even like, I don't know, there was like, you know, the part where you can like do some customization, but only one person could use the tool. And so he's like, all right, everybody line up, like raise your hand if you want. And like, you know, we're all like raising hand. Like it was so much fun until I was traumatized over what I stumbled upon, because 2 of our family members finished playing before the rest of us. So they like logged out, and we stumbled upon them, and I was like, this is terrible.
When you log out of the game, your character goes stiff and gets rigor mortis,
And
then
has, like, X's on its
their
eyes.
eyes. It's in one of the pictures I put into Discord.
It's terrible.
Mom Brain was screaming, laughing so loudly when this happened that her microphone cut out completely. No one can hear her, but I'm sitting in the same house with her. So I'm playing with family. I'm like, guys, Mom Brain is dying downstairs right now at what's happening, and nobody can hear her. I was like, and I walked over to her in game, and I was like, Mom Brain, you have to calm down because nobody can hear what you're saying.
Terrible. But
there's a lot of for being such rudimentary looking characters, there's a lot of personality
Yes.
that comes out with the movements that you
kind
can
of
do.
stuff connects you to a game more. The closer to realism you get, the less you feel connected to it. The more it looks like something that you can project your own thoughts onto, and immediately like disarms you with how it looks, makes it easier for you to really connect with and get an experience out of, because you're not thinking about it looking realistic or anything like that. You just kind of assume the character that it is. And I think that goes a long way in really deepening the bond that you have between the game and with the other players.
I was constantly delighted. Like everything that happened delighted me. It was so much fun. And the challenges are like organic challenges, right? Like we're too far apart, so we can't hear each other, or we don't know what this does, so let's try it and figure it out. Like there really is.
Yeah, you guys trying to figure everything out is like, I don't know what to do here. Let's stand on each other's shoulders. That was
Yeah,
over
and
and
you
over
know
and
what?
over again.
And that's fun too.
Exactly. And again, I think that really, for me, is just like the essence of play, right? Like, we're all having fun together and trying to like make sense of things together, and it's in a stress-free atmosphere where we're not like under duress, like waiting for like a bad guy to come and get us, or
Yeah,
whatever.
there's no
like,
bad guys or enemies to worry
No
about.
bad guys,
It's
no
just
monsters.
You puzzles. The only bad guy is the only trauma is when you get separated from your group and you got to find your way back.
Or if you fall down a mountain and like far enough that you hit your bum and you drop whatever item you have, and then it's like a scramble to find it before before it's lost forever.
Yeah, it's a blast.
Yeah, so much fun. Really too, I have to say that this game sticks its landing better than like any game ever. Holy cow, is the ending excellent. Just after everything you've gone through with your friends, when the ending happens and what you have to do is just for me, it was unlike any other experience I've ever had with games, and I just absolutely loved it. And just like the beauty of the whole experience and how it unfolded at the end, and there's still questions, and there's still for us, because we're still interested and we're going to keep playing, there's still like a little bit to do to kind of like 100% it, and it's just done so well. God, absolutely blown away. Now look, I loved Untitled Goose Game. I had one it's another great memory is playing that game. I remember exactly who I was with and all that stuff, and it was so good. And it's a shame these guys weren't on my radar at all. As a gamer, I just wasn't even thinking about it. This came out of nowhere for me. I'm not saying that it's coming out of nowhere for everyone. A lot of people have been waiting for this, but I am now going to be like keeping an eye on House because they're just doing it great. Great fun, and that's what it's all about. So thank you for listening.
I just checked again. They are the #1 game on Steam right now, so they are definitely getting some traction with this. Reviews have been stellar. It is currently the best reviewed game of the year. It is the highest review average of any game. So this is without a doubt easily my game of the year. Like this is it. This is my go-to. This is my #1. Nothing tops this game for me. This is a top 10 game of all time without a doubt, because it has everything I love in a game. I love puzzles. I love wandering around. I love when games don't explain things. Then on top of that, it has so much charm and personality in the characters. I love the way you interact with everything. Just like all you do is jump, squat, pick your arms up above your head or put them out in front of you. And your mouth gets bigger or smaller when you talk to indicate that you're talking. And that's like, that's it. You point, you just point and you figure out gestures that work with you and your friends to solve some of the puzzles. And it's just the way it has you all work together in a way it organically comes about. And the way that it really feels like you are on an adventure, as Mobrain and Deux both said, is unmatched. I've never played a game where I really felt like I was doing what I was doing in the game. Like I really feel like I'm out there in the wild with friends, wandering around, exploring, solving these puzzles. And the sense of satisfaction in solving the puzzles is so good, because you're like, man, we did it. We figured it out. We all worked together to communicate something that worked for us, because while the puzzle may have one solution, there are so many ways for you to get to it. And those ways are determined by your group of friends, hand gestures, singing, noises, numbers, signals that it doesn't matter. There's all different ways you can come to the solution of a puzzle. And it's whatever works best for your group of people. And it's just so enjoyable. This game has brought tears to my eyes, not because of any like emotional story moment, but just because it was so palpable of an experience, just like wandering at night through a forest, seeing like a big building and everybody being like, oh my God, what is that thing up there? And it just feels so
Or like
good.
coming across your friends, because sometimes you have to stop to talk to each other because of just like the proximity chat. So like coming closer to your friends that are trying to figure something out, and you like come into the conversation, and it just feels, all that stuff is just done so well. But one thing that I'm thinking about is, this is gonna be a game that, because of its nature, it's a multiplayer game exclusively. It's gonna be, for me, and a lot of games are like this for you, RMC, but for me, like, I don't have a lot of these games where it's a once in a lifetime experience. I can't picture us getting together to play this game ever again in our lives.
Not unless new content comes
and
out,
I can't play it alone, which is what I would be doing.
Yeah.
So like, it's going to be one of those memories that we're going to look back. We're going to say, like, because there's a handful of games where like, you're just like, man, remember playing Big Walk? Like, that was just an incredible experience. Like, we're going to be looking back on it. Like, I'm trying to think of something totally different experience, but in the same vein as like Journey or something, where it's like, where I'm never going to play that again, but I'll look back on it and be like, man, remember when I played Journey? Like, that was a journey. And like, Big Walk is
that, like, that experience of the first time is so crucial to how you feel about it. That, yes, like Journey, when you know what's going on in Journey, it's still beautiful if you were to go through again, but it's not going to hit the same way because you know a big part of what's going on. And Big Walk has so many of those things where there's things that you open up or find or unlock that you didn't even know were there. And it's wow moment after wow moment. Then on top of that, you're solving puzzles. So once you've seen all the puzzles, you know what's going on. So that's not to say the game is bad because it doesn't have replay value, but it you know, your first experience through is going to be the experience that sticks with you. That's why I'm so thankful to have family playing, because I am just there to watch them play, which is a lot of fun. And that's an experience I've never had in a game, where I have watched other people play games that I have played, and I've sat by them and watched them play. But now I am watching them play by being in the game with them in a game's perspective. So it's just great. And I'm not offering help. Obviously, I'm talking with family, and I enjoy that and joking around. But yes, I'm just watching them do their own thing, and seeing them figure out their way through puzzles is crazy.
I bet you it's hilarious, because
great.
Everybody's personality is different, and it comes through in these weird characters so vividly somehow. And like, maybe it's the mouth moving when they talk too, that adds a lot. But like, I can see just sitting back and laughing at just the interactions, because it's going to be a different experience for every single person who plays the game.
It's so funny because while you guys were playing and you were at the home base and everybody was like looking at signs and looking at the radio and talking to each other, I was standing back and I was like, this feels like I'm in the Outer Banks with family. Like, this actually feels like we're all hanging out together. It was great. So we still have more to do. We have a certain number of things left to collect, which will probably take us 5 or 6 nights, depending on how we're motoring, maybe less.
I think it's going to take more. Well,
because we found that we did all the extra difficult challenges by accident. It just randomly worked out like that. So we have puzzles that are going to be brand new to us, but maybe they won't be as difficult.
Yeah, you're right.
So
we've got about 11 maybe left, just judging. But
I think we have 10. Yeah, it's something like that.
So
So not a ton ahead of us.
we were averaging a couple a night, but now we're getting down to like the last few. They're kind of spread out because they're just all over the place, or who knows. So it could take us a long time. But of course, I'm going by how we played last night, where last night was the worst night we've ever had. We made no plans at all. RMC was nice enough to boot the game up and let us go in there early. And by the time RMC came to join us, we were like on a mountainside, just like goofing off. And he's like, you guys didn't even look at the map. What's going on?
So nothing happened at all. Like, I went into the game. I had to wander to get to them. I told them, leave me a walkie-talkie and I'll find where you guys are. I got to them and realized exactly what Deux said. They had made no plans at all. They just wound up on a rock somewhere and were talking. And that's all that happened. I was like, oh, so I thought to myself, I was like, I could have just stayed at the base and you could have come back to me. Like, nothing happened here. But it was a whole night of nothing in the best way possible. and it ended with us getting something by doing nothing. So it was the night was meant to be the
It
way
was kind
it
of
went.
poetic in a way,
Yes.
for sure. But to be honest, I mean, obviously, you'd love to get something accomplished, but I could meet up with you guys and just walk around and hang out, and it wouldn't matter to me
Yeah.
if we didn't find anything last night. You know what I mean? Because I was just having a ball. It's one of those experiences that, like, it's a beautiful world, and it's fun to go around it and use the items and however you want. And I mean, some like the things with the megaphone they just crack me up,
very
because
funny.
it's just your friends making you laugh, and they're
And
doing
it has honestly come in handy multiple times since we found it, because we've been out there looking for something and having a hard time getting back. And a flare gun is great, but then to hear like your friends yelling, because flare guns have to reset and you have to reload and all that. But hearing friends yelling, you're like, oh, okay, I'm getting closer. It's much more directional. You're like, I hear them on the right, I hear them on the left, I hear them behind me, and it really is helpful.
It really, the quality of the sound is great, because you're wearing the headset and it's like 3D audio, and the proximity chat can be so funny. Like if someone falls down a cliff and like screams,
Yes.
it's like the funniest thing.
Yep.
And
like the video I put in there of dude dropping the flare gun on his head, you get some of the proximity audio as he yells no as he jumps off the side of the mountain.
Of course, in the long dark, the button for run is the same button in Big Walk to drop to kick your item. So that's why I was trying to run, and I ended up booting.
Dropped it right on your head.
Yeah, that one is even more embarrassing.
Tony asks, is everyone playing on Steam? Switch 2, does crossplay work? The game is available on Steam. The game is available on Switch 2, and the game is available on PS5, and it has crossplay between all platforms. We are playing 4 people Switch 2, 1 person Steam, and we've had no issues with the crossplay.
And when we played with family, Raw Meat played Switch 2 and I played PS5.
And other people were playing PS5. And one person was playing PC as well. So you had the whole mix of everybody on that one, and it, again, was fine.
So how much is the game?
$20?
Man, it's a steal, seriously.
I mean, if you have at least one person, you should get it. Yeah.
I mean, it's ideal with more than 2 people, but still, I bet you it's still fun with 2.
I think it could be really like something special with 2 people. I would prefer it to be more, but I think like another person that you like are really, if it was just Mom, Brain, and I playing together, I think it would be like really a special, fun experience. But yes, the puzzles scale up with more players, so probably in some ways a more engaging experience like that. But there is something I think that would be magical to just you and one other person exploring that giant island together. I think that'd be really cool, because there'd be moments where you'd have to go out and it's like, okay, you take a walkie-talkie and I take a walkie-talkie, and you're just sitting on the edge of a mountain while you're watching them wander away or something.
I meant to say that there, and I haven't played a ton, but there.
1 second. Space says he thinks it's on sale for $15 right now. So there you go.
There is something a little bit, I don't know the word for it, like uncanny or lonely or mysterious. There's something about the game that has me just a tiny bit unsettled.
Yeah, because it's it's how well realized the space is, because it really feels like you're in that environment. And especially when you're like in a small group or left alone for a minute, you're like, oh, I'm alone.
Yeah, and it's like the universe is lonely feeling because it's just so empty. You're the only moving, living.
You know what I think
things.
helps? No music.
Except when there is.
You find musical
I was
installations, but
the music that's in it, as awesome as it is also kind of mystifying.
Thank you,
so
Space.
I feel like that adds to it, because even though you might not be listening to the music when you're feeling unsettled out there in the wilderness, it set you up with any music that's in the game is it's like a little out there, but it's all great. It's like ethereal kind of.
It is ethereal, and you're these creatures that don't have like a name, and they're even like, I don't like when you look at Pikmin, you could say like, well, they look kind of like little like tadpoles, or they look right. There's like, usually something you can say. It looks a little like this.
Bird snowman.
The characters in Big Walk don't have like a real life analog that I would like. So like, but the environment you're in looks like Earth, right? There's like woods and ocean and rocks. So
Yes,
there's also
other than
that.
the buildings that you stumble upon, it is a very natural.
But even like
looking.
the buildings, when you look at like, it's like red staircases.
That's what I said, other than the
right?
buildings.
Yeah, like so there's just a lot that
There
like
you go. That's it, Malakayla.
sets you enough like off kilter to also be like, I don't know, are we gonna find something like real weird is going on here, or like, which I love.
Well, I mean, we took some videos of some weird stuff going on in the room we were in last night.
I also
felt right.
have to say that the first time that we as a family encountered music, we probably spent like 4 or 5 minutes dancing.
I mean, so did we.
That was not, it was clearly not like something you had to do to advance the game or solve a puzzle. It was just like watching each other use the characters' movements to like dance.
And there's more to that you don't know yet.
But like, it was just so, it was so much fun.
When you guys got to that, I was like, let's see what they end up doing here. And it became a dance party. And I was like, just like what we did.
And like some people were sitting down and just moving their arms and like it just, I don't know. It was a really
we had this thing. We have a couple of things that are just funny about us, but there's this one where you get an item and you have to like go from little place to place to like carve a little something on it, and like the device that carves opens up a little window, and every single one of those we would run up to it and like sit next to it and just like look through the window.
Yes,
and like
he's keeping it quiet for listeners.
I did the same thing.
Yeah.
I did the same thing, just staring. I was like, you can watch.
Music Man in particular started it where he got right up at the open window to watch it going on.
So then it became like, all of us doing it like on every side of this thing, and it was just something dumb, and it was just, and then the more it happened, the funnier it would get.
Yeah.
Another thing we do a lot of
great.
is if we're like trying to get somebody to do something, we run up to that something and we punch it like repeatedly as fast as we can. We smash our hands into it to make noise off of it, and I love doing it.
There's
a
couple of puzzles in particular where just some of the stuff that happened was just so funny to me and so great and brilliant, and I can't believe that worked. I can't believe it worked. Like there were a couple times when that happened. I want to talk about every single one, but I want people to really just like go in blind and experience it, because it's not fun hearing about it. Like you gotta, like when you're there and you're doing it, it's just unbelievable, and you can't predict it. Oh my god, it's great.
I mean, we to really put things in perspective and show how much we love this game. Yes, we have more to do and we play every chance we get, but also we've been playing this game for 3+ weeks and we're still this in love with it. So it's really sinks its claws into you. And it is a wonderful experience. This game will, without a doubt, be nominated Game of the Year by multiple outlets. And as far as the game landscape stands right now, it deserves to win. I'm sure Grand Theft Auto is going to win Game of the Year this year, which, no shade to Grand Theft Auto, I'm sure it's going to be a fantastic experience that thousands of people have brought to life, and it will be incredible. But as far as that versus what games can be, I think hands down, Big Walk deserves to get the win, because it's showing you what you can achieve with games versus just being a really amazing game. So that's my personal opinion. I leave room for me to change my opinion based on when I play Grand Theft Auto 6, but I don't see it changing, but I'm open to it.
I agree with you. Grand Theft Auto 6 is probably going to be excellent. I'm going to play the crap out of it. I'm going to love it, I'm sure. But it's Grand Theft Auto 6.
Yeah.
We
There's
we
not
know what to
any,
expect.
I would imagine, for the most part, there's not going to be anything in Grand Theft Auto 6 where I'm like, I never saw this happening, and it completely changes the game. There will be some wrinkles in there where I'm like, I really like this new thing, but nothing where I'm like, wow, I didn't know games could do this to me. I don't think that's going to happen in Grand Theft Auto 6. I could be wrong. I'm open to being wrong, but really, Big Walk is like, this is, like I wrote in my review, this is what you show to somebody to show what games can be and achieve and can only be done through games. This is an experience that you can't get from a movie or a TV show or a book or music. This is something that the medium of games as entertainment and art can only achieve, and it shows how magical they can be. So, and again, that's all because of House and what they put into this. So, man, what an awesome experience. By the way, our team that we've been playing with is Deux, myself, Music Man, Grimbles, and Brino. And usually it's, it's always either 4 or 5 of us, and that's what we've been running the game with. So it took us about 18 and a half, 19 hours to get the main ending to the game. And now we're working on 100%ing, and it's clear there's something else going on, and I won't spoil it, but we have something else to do, which we think will unlock once we do all the other things we have lined up. So we'll see what happens there, and I don't know what awaits us, but I'm very excited to find that out. I will also echo what Deux said. The game's ending, I think, is the greatest experience of an end game that I've ever had. Like, it was.
Well,
when it
even
asks,
including that time that you finished Crystal Bears without us.
I mean, that's a major achievement on my part, but this ending for this game, when it started happening, and it's like it's a decent chunk of the game. Like, it's not like 10 minutes and it's over. You put in a good amount of work, but as you're doing it and as you recognize what the game is going to make you do, it's like, oh my God, how are we going to do this? And then it's like, okay, do it now, do more of it now, do more and more of it. And
it was incredible.
Unbelievable.
It was incredible.
Unbelievable. I laughed out loud when I realized what was going on. And it was a laugh of like wonder and also disbelief that I'm like, oh my God, we have this task ahead of us. How are we going to do it?
It's great. It's great. And all you have to go on is your friends that are there with you, and like we just plunge into it together, and like there's no thing that pops up on the screen and is like, hey, guess what, you're not gonna be able to whatever
that never ever happens. The game never does that to you, where it gives you new rules or outlines something. It's just you figure it out on your own, and that is so much of what I love in all of video games. And we don't see that anymore, or hardly anymore. And now we get a game where that is front and center. And to show you just how well it works. I mean, I know Deux doesn't really like that in games, but that's this game's bread and butter. And again, I think it's because of working with friends and being in that space. It just makes it sing that much more. It's an incredible game. It is an absolutely incredible game. So go grab it. If you have at least one person to play the game with, because you need one. But again, PS5, PC, Switch 2. If you got one person, and it's not demanding in the sense of like, if you're worried about, there's no, like we said, no enemies to kill. It's very at your own pace. There may be some puzzles there's very few puzzles that require you to like have traditional game skills where it's like run and jump and do this quickly. There are a couple of them that are in there. So if that's like a sore spot for you where you're like, I don't have quick reflexes or something, the good news is you'll be able to do other puzzles to get to the end game without doing the puzzles that require you to do that. So I can only think of 2 really that are really like that.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to get to the end game, no problem, and beat it without doing those. So if you're worried about like, puzzles where your gaming skills are put to the test, I can only really think of 2. And there's so many others you can do to get to the end game. If you're 100%, then you might have a problem. But don't let that worry you. This is very, very basic controls, very easy going, and then all, brain teasers that you have to figure out. So not demanding button-wise. So you're good. But yes, we're all in agreement. Fantastic game. One of the best games I've ever played. And well worth your time. So
there was kind of
go get it.
Yeah, it's House just nailed it. There kind of had a similar feeling when playing Untitled Goose Game, when you discover that you could do something in it, and you'd be like, "Wait, I could do that? Well, what if I use that to do this?" And then like, and it's just that there's like a little breadcrumb trail that just leads you to be as goofy as you want to be.
Untitled Goose Game, all of that, you find that stuff organically and you're surprised you can do it. But all that is planned. In Big Walk, you have plenty of those moments that it's just the game facilitates it. House has is going to see things solved in ways that they've never imagined, I'm sure. And that's because of the people playing it and how they think. So that open-ended organic element is added on to what they achieved in Untitled Goose Game, and it just makes the game 100 times better. So I wanted to say, by the way, this game is the only game where I have felt so compelled to take screenshots and videos all the time. I've never done that. I've done that I've done it in Fortnite where I grab moments that were really cool or funny, but I have never, ever, ever had a game where I just want to take pictures for picture's sake and I want to capture funny moments or videos of our achievements and stuff. I've used the screenshot video app on Switch 2 more than I've ever used it on Switch or Switch 2 before, or any system for that matter. And my app is now loaded up with pictures and videos of us doing all kinds of fun, silly, stupid, amazing things. And I'll be able to at least look back on those and be like, remember that time dude dropped the gun on his head and fell down a mountain?
When we were playing with R-Type and his kid, you went back in your like videos that you've taken on the Switch 2, and you've got some incredible moments on there. That Pac-Man moment, you should upload that somewhere. That was
put that on like
Twitter
or Blue Sky a while ago, because that's the best I've ever done in a video game.
That was one of the most impressive things I've ever seen.
I'm never losing that moment, because yes, that's if somebody asks me what's your finest gaming moment, that is it right there. Just a personal gaming moment, that's my Pac-Man moment. But yeah, when I save videos, I try and go out of the way to get things that are like really impressive or meaningful. So my collection may not be big, but it's got a lot of stuff that I like, and I'd forgotten some of them too when I was rewatching them with you guys. I was like, why did I record this? Oh yeah, this thing. But anyway, go play Big Walk. That's that. We're all good, right? We can move on.
Yeah.
Questions. Send your questions to GoNintendo@gmail.com.
Where?
GoNintendo@gmail.com.
Maybe I will.
They can be about Nintendo video games in general or whatever the hell you want. This week's question. Rosemary the Farmer. I have an age-old favorite for you. If you could share a meal with any person, alive or dead, fictional or real, what would you be eating? That's the question. What would you be eating? They say, by the way, Freddie and I have been missing y'all. It's been forever since we've been able to listen live for more than a few minutes. Well, we're happy you're still here and listening in general, and we miss you too. And we're happy to answer the question of what would we be eating? So you're going to meet whoever, live, dead, celebrity, fictional, real, doesn't matter. But when you go meet them, what are you eating? And I'm saying, go ahead.
I am having a meal with my grandmother, and we are eating her cheese spread sandwich that she used to make, and she made it.
I can vouch that Mom Brain has many times in her life talked about how much she misses this sandwich. So I
miss my grandmother more. But yep, we're sitting down together for Gami's cheese spread sandwich. That's what we're doing.
I mean, nothing comes to mind immediately that's like sentimental or means anything, but something does come to mind immediately just because I want it. I want to go to 90s Pizza Hut and have a pan pizza from Pizza Hut in the 90s. That's what I want.
Living or dead, the Pizza Hut from the 90s, which is dead.
Yes. I would like to eat it in that Pizza Hut. Yes, that's true. And you know what? Really, to be fair, answer. And to steal part of your idea, I guess I would do it with my grandma, who is also dead, because she's the one that put me on the Pizza Hut. So I'd have to have the meal with her, of course.
He went straight from the teat to the hut.
She was without a doubt the one who took me to Pizza Hut first and like regularly. So, and I remember the exact path we used to walk to get to the exact booth we used to sit at. It's not the one that we used to go to. But like I remember the lighting perfectly and sitting there and eating with her. And sometimes it was just me and her, or sometimes it was me, her, and my mom. And I legitimately love Pizza Hut on its own. And I do love the pizza. But I will forever have that feeling of family and those memories of family and like getting together with people I care about and love at Pizza Hut. So that's a whole other reason why it means so much, because I had that with my grandmother and my mom. And then I had that with Mom Brain and Deux and our other friends. I've had birthday parties at Pizza Hut. Like, Pizza Hut is what I think of when I think of places that I love with people that I love. So that's a big part of why Pizza Hut means so much to me. So yeah, grandma and 90s Pizza Hut. That's my answer. That's what I'm going with.
Man, that's really good.
No pressure, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. You know,
The Brentwood.
my grandma was a really great cook, so I would probably want anything that she would cook. Her lasagna especially was incredible, and like she made a really good chocolate cake. She made a lot of good cakes actually, but so that's probably what I would go for. But for the podcast, I would say give me three, give me pork roll day and give me three of them. So but
If I was still eating meat, I would kill a pork roll sandwich. I do miss pork rolls so much. Man, now I want pork roll really bad. That's what we need the vegetarian vegan people to get on, a fake pork roll. I don't imagine they could ever capture that
I
flavor.
don't know how you would do it without magic.
I don't know. Honestly don't know. But that one company we just found does a really good pepperoni. Like it was a legitimately
But you
very
have to
good
have it
pepperoni.
on the pizza.
Yeah, they don't sell it
They
separately.
Oh,
And their
interesting.
website, FAQ, has a specific, their question and answer section on their website. The first question was, can I buy the pepperoni separately? So other people clearly feel the same way about the pepperoni, and they said no because they get it from another company that doesn't do that. So it sucks, but man, is it good pepperoni. Speaking of pork roll, I'll have to talk to you in more detail.
Fatty gas.
But I got a social media post about a bagel place that's in your neck of the woods, and I've said to you multiple times we should go. And I saw a post, and their bagels looked incredible. It's
We should
very
do
close
breakfast
to
tomorrow
you.
morning.
But you got to get up early for breakfast.
Well, that's only a problem for one of us at this table.
You bring it back here. I have to see what hours they're open because whatever.
Bagels are great.
Yes, Tony, that's right. Nona Michael's lasagna is what it was called. By the way, send some questions to the questions email. We could use some more. But moving on, we have Patreon. Dude, did you know you can join the GoNintendo Patreon
For $1.
for $1? And we have a Patreon question from Sinfield. Here's one for you, good people. We've had some unbelievable console generations. If you could relive just one of them again, what would it be and why? Don't worry, RMC. The games would be completely new to you again, a bit like Men in Black with the Mind Eraser. And which three games from that generation stick out that influenced the decision in your console generation? Okay, so if you could relive one console generation, what would it be and why?
Man.
I have two answers. They say console generation, so I will stick with consoles. I would go Super Nintendo for personal reasons, Wii for family friend reasons, because Super Nintendo was just like magical to me. Like that was the first, that was the first time we went to a new generation, really. It was like you got to see new graphics and new sounds, and it was like so crazy compared to what you were used to before. And then plus the Super Nintendo's library is phenomenal. This time I would play all the RPGs going through. And like I love that controller. I just love that system. So I really, really, really like that. And then Wii, that brought in so many people to play games who had never played games before. And there were so many fantastic party games that I loved playing with other people who are around. Wii Party and Wii Sports and Wii Sports Resort and Hasbro Family Game Night and so all of those things. I just love that really brought in people who didn't play games, and you got together and played games together locally, which is something we don't really get to experience that much anymore nowadays. And that was like the real hot time for it, and there was so much to do. So I would go back and experience that one again. Those are my answers.
I also have a two-part answer. Real answer is probably going to be the Switch, just because it's got every like great game on there, plus old games and classics, and it's handheld and it's awesome, and I just love the Switch so much. But I would say for nostalgic reasons, probably the Sony PlayStation 1, just between Final Fantasy VII, Tekken 2, and the Resident Evil franchise, like I couldn't believe my eyes. There was something with the PlayStation that I just fell in love. Always loved video games before that, but there was something about that generation watching that PlayStation, and then I loved the controller. I thought was so awesome. It felt so comfortable, and like I don't know why I loved that controller so much. And then my PlayStation had to be. There came a point where it had to be turned upside down physically in order to even play it, which was strange, but like. That was part of it that like was just funny and unique and interesting. And I just remember spending a ton of time just like looking at it and like looking at the memory card and like playing around with just like the little things that you get, like little stupid little things, and but just being like, they did it, man, like they did it. And
you're like using discs. I know we had the Sega CD and other systems, but that was the first time where it was like a real platform that got a whole bunch of games was using discs.
Yeah, and the fact that the discs were black underneath for some reason was the cool. Like means nothing. Who cares? You're never looking at
a disc like this before.
But it was the coolest thing ever. I just loved the PlayStation and like how the games looked, and I liked the big goofy boxes, and then I liked the little boxes. I liked it all. The only thing I didn't like was the greatest hits that came out, and then it kind of just you felt like you missed I have this game, but I missed out on the original. But regardless, I absolutely loved everything about that. And don't get me wrong, I mean, Nintendo's still giving me like the best experiences, and that's why probably the Switch would be like the pinnacle for me, because it's got it all. But and Switch 2, I guess, to the more so even. So I'm living the dream right now. But there's something nostalgic about thinking about those days and those games and like what they were doing with like, again, you appreciate those graphics more than I do, but like just what they were pushing, what they had to do to like bring just games like that to the forefront. And it just felt to me like the next level. And I don't know, loved it very much.
Mom Brain, do you have an answer?
I mean,
Genesis.
For no other reason but nostalgia's sake, I would go back to like, I remember getting my Game Boy and being like so stoked about it, being like, oh my God, car trips are never going to be the same. And I was right.
Cat Trap?
Yeah, so I would say Game Boy.
I mean, Game Boy is definitely up there for me. I said, Sinfield said console, so I kept it console. But yes, I love the Game Boy. The whole story of how I got the Game Boy on my birthday, like at a party with my friends, like little Nicky Hill running around, and John the Savage and Lube were there, like and they, like, everybody crowded around me at like the picnic table because it was a pool party. We're sitting there playing, and I remember vividly being like, I can't wait until everybody goes home so I can play. Because I was like, I won't hog it. I'll let everybody else play. And they were playing Mario and Tetris and whatever. But I was like, watching them while they're playing it, being like, I was like, I guess I'll go in the pool. And I remember like being in the pool, like, what time is it? When are I going home? But yes.
I think I heard thunder. I think everybody's got to get
guys,
out.
I don't feel so good, guys. I think you better get out of here.
Just like shoots out a log in the pool. Like, everybody's got to go.
If I just poop in the pool, I could get everybody out of here right now. So thank you, Sinfield. Great question. And now it's time for music. Send your music to GoNintPod@gmail.com.
Where?
GoNintPod@gmail.com.
Music, I will.
Put music in the title. Help out your local Mom Brain. She's lined up some bangers for us, I'm sure. And where is it? You want to hear it? Oh.
I heard that George was working on some lyrics to that end of that song.
I'm working on a little something. I'll probably have something next week. Probably next week.
Okay.
You lying me?
All right. So
50 lime.
Here we are.
I'm gonna keep it limey Lime Street. Sorry.
This song comes from Spaniel 53.
bad right off the bat. It's not ringing a bell. Oh.
I'm a lady now. I'm a lady now. Already, I'm a lady.
Is this Rhythm Heaven?
Yep. Mega Mix.
Yes, Mega Mix. That's why I was so confused. Yes. Boy.
On the 3DS.
Yes.
Is it I'm a lady now? Is that what they're saying?
That's right. All right. This one comes from Autumnal Blake.
All right, you son of a bitch. It's going to change, isn't it? Yeah, you're an asshole. It's a Game Boy camera. Very funny, very funny.
That's evil.
At least hit me with the beginning part again. That part's nice. Now stop it.
And that's all there is to it. Yes, you were correct. So that's 2. All right. This one comes from Mikey3319. Hello.
Turn it up.
It's up. It looks like it's playing.
Skip ahead.
Oh, hold on. That's as loud as I can get it.
No. What? Your volume's all the way up?
Yeah.
I trust you. Skip ahead more.
That should give you a hint.
Who did this? Beethoven?
Yep.
Oh, the game is Beethoven.
The ultimate canine caper.
Never played it. Boy, it got you to skip ahead to the right section. Confidently can say, as much as I love Charles Grodin, I never played the Beethoven video game.
Sorry you missed that. This is from our friend Joe Shabadoo.
Gonna be loud.
I tried to turn it down.
Give me a little more. It's not ringing a bell. What kind of game is this?
Looks to me like it might
I'm not asking you. I'm asking myself. Sorry, I didn't want you to give me anything. What am I seeing? A racing game?
be. Yeah.
I got no clue. I don't think I know the song. I don't know. I'll bow out.
Fast Fusion on Switch 2.
Yes, I haven't played that one yet. I liked the one before that. Fast, whatever it's called. Something. There's an X in there.
This one's from Freddie Fro.
Oh, Dispatch.
Such good music.
Probably should kill it because we're going to get claimed for that one.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. Great soundtrack.
This one is from No Blades, No Bows.
Leave your weapons here. It's like Luigi's Mansion or something.
It is not. But it does look a little spooky.
It's definitely spooky, but like silly spooky, goofy spooky. I got no clue. I'm gonna bow out on this
I don't
one.
know.
Don't Starve on the Switch.
I did play
Oh.
Don't Starve, but I don't remember the music at all.
This one is from Radical Defect, Master Higgins.
Mega Man. Something. Mega Man on the Game Boy.
Yeah.
But that's not one.
Nope.
So I don't remember how high they went on the Game Boy. 3?
No.
4?
No.
5?
Yep.
Wow. What? Does it tell you who this one is?
No.
Like what man?
No.
What man am I listening
It says
to?
Venus Stage from Mega Man 5.
Say that again.
Well, it says it's titled 15 Minutes of Video Game Music, Venus Stage from
Venus,
Mega Man 5.
Sure. Okay. I don't remember. You're probably fighting
Spaceman.
Dr. Cossack or something in that one. Dr. Ballsack.
This one's from Nico Darunia.
Sounds scary.
What's with all the spooky songs?
Did not do that intentionally.
Oh,
That's it?
I have no idea, man.
All I can guess is based on the quality. Is it the DS or is it the DS?
No.
GBA?
Yep.
So it's somebody's going all out on a GBA. So my first guess is Nintendo.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what this is.
Oh, you don't know what it is?
Is that you giving me a hint? Because then I'll guess Pokemon.
Yep.
Oh, God, I don't remember what's on that one. With the green guy. Pokemon with the green guy, but not Leaf Green. He's like a green and yellow dragon or something.
Uh-huh.
Yes? Oh,
Yeah.
I don't remember what those
Green,
games are.
think
Emerald
green.
Man.
Yeah.
Emerald,
Yeah,
yeah.
dude. Great
of course,
job.
thank you, dude.
Of course. I'm not
I don't know why I
Pokemon
didn't turn
expert.
to you right away.
This is from Kendall.
This is definitely made by whoever did Maniac Mansion. Is this LucasArts?
Bandai.
Same composer. It's a banger. I'm gonna have to look this up. This LucasArts has to be involved here somehow. I got no idea what this is. Yeah. I'm out completely. I don't know.
Rocketeer.
Wow.
LucasArts could be involved. I'm gonna have to look that up.
And the last
I
song
remember reading about that in Nintendo Power, but I never played it.
we have for this week comes to us from Slider64.
Oh, right away. I know this one. This is the title screen. What a soundtrack on this game. This is one of the most impressive N64 soundtracks. This is Tetrasphere.
It is.
Let it go for a bit. It's a really good soundtrack. Yes. All right, go ahead. Maniac
right.
Mansion, NES.
Well, how did we do?
Oh, yes, I have that.
6 out of 9? Probably
1, 2,
6
3,
out of 9.
4, 5, 6, 7. 7
6
out
out
of
of
10.
9.
6 out of 9.
6 out of 9.
Wow. That was
Sorry, I'm like fascinated by this.
okay.
All right.
Well, you got to end the show.
Rocketeer. Oh yeah, that's the end. We got nothing else to do. So sorry,
Wait.
guys.
There's one more thing.
Oh.
Yeah. Deux Views. It's never news. Rumor of the week with Deux Michaels. Ladies and gentlemen, as you may know, there's a segment called
thought it was
Deux Views
starting.
at the end of each episode of the podcast. and I send my spiders and my flies out all over the video game world. And they come back with rumors that you're not going to hear anywhere else. These are exclusive rumors to GoNintendo.
Excroomers.
Excroomers. So actually, there's a note here. There's something new that we're going to be doing with Deux Views. This is a first-time, one-time only deal. It says here that instead of a rumor, we have an actual breaking news story. This is absolutely 100% true.
Wow.
This never happens, people, ever. So be
And it
ready.
never will again.
Be
Dude,
ready.
Can I interrupt 1 minute, please?
Yeah.
Thank you. I looked it up. The same composer on Maniac Mansion was the one who did The Rocketeer, and his name was George Sanger, but he was more well known as the Fat Man.
Oh,
So the
from
Fat Man,
Jake and the Fat Man.
it has to be. Fat Man did the soundtrack for The Rocketeer and Maniac Mansion on the NES.
Wow.
But anyway, back to brand new breaking news.
We love you, Fat Man. All right, so this is breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. We talked earlier about the casting in the new Zelda film. So Uli Latukefu was cast as Ganon after months and months of callbacks and auditions. Apparently, it was down to him and just one other actor. That actor's name revealed today. He was very close, ladies and gentlemen. Charles Martinet was in the running for Ganon. And in fact, my sources of Spiders and Flies told me that he would have gotten the role. He just physically didn't fit the part at all. And he was maybe a little too old for the role as well, they said. So it's a shame.
Is true.
This
This
is
is-
absolutely true. Yes. Now, there are some things behind the scenes. A lot of people are saying that it's because he's a Nintendo ambassador that he didn't get the role and they didn't want to play favoritism. We'll have to see what Mr. Martinet's litigator has to say about all of this.
Good luck to Bagoo.
And, and a lot of people, if you don't think he could do it because of his high-pitched Mario voices, well, guess what? He played Parthenax, fearsome dragon
That's right.
in Skyrim. So remember, this man is multifaceted.
And a little Triforce. And a little milk. And a little bit of cuckoos.
And and I'm sure he and Sam Neill would have gotten along famously.
Well, that's a shame it didn't come to fruition. But maybe next time, maybe in the sequel, they'll find the role from him. He'll be the Song of Storms guy cranking that weird whatever he's got music box, and maybe he could be Tingle sometime down the road.
We have we've got a quote from Charles Martinet about the actor who got the part. He says, "Good luck to you, Lee."
Wow.
Man, that's
So
very nice.
It was
Taking a
very
high road,
gracious,
taking
very
a high road.
gracious of him to wish him well.
All right, everybody. That's all we got for today. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye, everybody. Goodbye.
After show, anything? I feel like we shouldn't even do an after show because Piper clearly misses us.
She's probably upstairs now.
Oh. Anything? Anyone? Anything?
I can't think of anything.
Okay.
Yeah, I got nothing.
I'll say very quickly, I started watching Flash Memory. I think that's what it's called. There was a animated short years ago. 1 second. Maybe it's not called that. God damn it. I wish if
No, we don't.
only my brain would work.
We all hoped for that.
I wanted to mention this really quick. Okay. False Memory. That's what it's called. False Memory.
Oh,
It was a
your memory failed you on that one.
little animated short that was fantastic, very obviously inspired by Fooly Cooley, and now it got a full series treatment, and it just started airing a few weeks ago. It was supposed to air on YouTube officially on August 4th, and it never showed up. And I waited a couple of days and it still didn't show up. And I found out, I don't know, they haven't released it on YouTube yet, but they will later. But you can officially watch it on Bilibili, which is the Chinese version of YouTube, basically. So I watched the first episode there, and it was an all-time great first episode. This is what I want from an animated show. It was like so up my alley. It was ridiculous. Very like mysterious and really, really awesome animation and cool characters and thought-provoking and everything. So the first episode was an absolute banger. If you're interested in animation, it is not anime because it is Chinese made, but if you are interested in animated things that are off kilter and strange and interesting and unique, check out False Memory on Bilibili. You're gonna have to type it in with Chinese font, and I don't know how to tell you how to do that, but just look it up and you'll get the Chinese font. Paste that on Bilibili, and then it'll come right up. And enjoy. But that's all I got.
Billy.
Thanks. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Play some games. Hang out with friends and family. Rest, relax. You deserve it. And we'll see you next week. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.